It is a gorgeous Friday night from the half mile in Delaware, Ontario. Good evening. Welcome to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Orrs alongside Darrell Lake, a late model driver here in the 2023. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. First off, right off the hop, a happy 84th birthday going tomorrow to Marlene McCullough. So happy birthday tomorrow, Marlene, and thanks for tuning in, Darrell. We have twin features for the Super Stocks and the 75 lapper from the late model. This is the night you want to be at.
This is the one. I was saying to you earlier before we got on the air that if I was coming out for a Friday night of racing, this would be the one. Double features for the Super Stocks, which are always an absolute blast. I love watching the Super Stocks, and I mean, my heart's in it. I was doing them for like 15 years before I moved up to late model, so yeah, and then the late models, which always put on a heck of a show out here. So it's a good night to be out.
Darrell's going to be one of our feature interviews coming up in intermission tonight. There is our third member of our team tonight, Mr. Joey Langdon. Let's check in with Joey. Good evening, Joey.
It is one of the most ultimate endurance tests you can see. It's the one they circle on the calendar, the one that racers either are excited for or dread. It is the endurance test for the late models, 50 laps tonight, and for the Super Stocks, it's double points night. Two features tonight, both 35 laps, for one before the 50 lapper, one after, and there is a maximum of 113 points available for one of these drivers in the Super Stocks. And this late in the season, if you can maximize your points tonight, you can go from middle of the pack to front runner in just a couple of hours. So a lot of guys are going to be looking for this night to make up for a lot of lost time this season. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Joey. Super Stocks late models. Let's check out the standings. We'll begin with the Super Stock division. It's Carson Nagy out front by just 5 points over the defending series champ Jay Dewar. And then Lane Zardo rounding out the top three, 8 off the base. And it's Culver and Chenoweth, your top 5. McCullough, Rickwood, Ramsey, Bright, and Dyson. Double points tonight for the Super Stocks. It should be a fantastic night for the Super Stocks. And Darrell, quickly before we go to the late model standings, you've done twin features before. What's your mindset as a driver coming into a twin night?
So on a twin night, you really need to make sure that you get through that first one, you get through it clean. Nothing worse than going into a second feature with a car that's already damaged and you know you don't even have a fighting shot at it. So you really got to conserve, but at the end of the day, there's points on the line. So you really do need to, and every position on the track is another point. And it's 2 points as you get closer to the front. So, I mean, you need to be on, but you definitely want to have a car to be there for the second race too, because that pays just as much as the first one.
Absolutely, and a point for leading a lap, a point for leading the most laps, and a point for leading it at the end. Let's go to the late model standings. Connor Pritico dominating the division right now, 34-point lead over Gary Adrianson, 39 over Morneau. Kennedy and Pinsno running out the top 5. Friel, Schrank, Robley, somebody named Darrell Lake in 9th, and Barry Watson in 10th. We'll tell you more about why Darrell is up here and not on the track coming up as one of our intermission feature interviews. We'll also talk to Mr. Spivak, the Spivak family celebrating 75 years under Delaware Speedway ownership. We'll speak to the main man coming up at intermission. Plus, we will have a statement from Doug Stewart from the V8 stock. A horrific accident last week. He is okay, walked away from it. We'll have a statement from Doug Stewart at intermission tonight. More to come. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
As each day passes, we have one guarantee. The sun will rise in the morning and set in the evening. Like the sun, you will also have a time to rise and a time to set.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. There you see our first set of automobiles. On the half mile here, it is heat races from the Super Stock division. So we'll run 10-lap heat races with the Super Stocks. The late models will run group qualifying for their 75-lap feature. A gorgeous night here at the track, but it will cool off in a hurry. Supposed to be down to about 15 degrees in about 45 minutes. So with the sun out, but the track and the atmosphere cooling off, what does that do for track conditions, Darrell Lake?
This is a good night for big power from these guys, and for this particular heat race, McCullough was actually pretty quick there in practice, so look for him to be moving from back of the field all the way up to the front and see what he can do.
All right, let's check in as the white flag is displayed. We'll do a final check-in down the trackside with Joey.
Down here with Jake Sheridan. Jake, big night tonight, but also quite a bit of a different preparation for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy how fast this sport changes, man. It feels like, you know, as much as I've run Delaware Speedway and been here a long time, a lot of stuff changes. We're still coming here and making changes with this car. I won 2 big races here last year, so yeah, it's awesome. I love coming here. I love coming home. These 75-lap races are so much fun. I love this deal, so super happy to be here, and we're here to race tonight for real. So excited about it, and should be a good time.
All right, you're behind the fence for a reason. I'll let you catch your breath. Back upstairs. Good luck.
All right, welcome back. Thank you, Joey. Back upstairs in the tower, Chris Soares, Darrell Lake joining us this week. Getting set for the first heat race for the Super Stock division. They'll come into the restart zone. Green flag, and we're racing at the half mile. It's the 57 of Ethan Orr on the point for this first Super Stock heat race. The 36N is Hudson Nagy on the outside. Mesenberg and Lonnie Thompson in that white number 4, row number 2. The field tightly bunched out of turn number 4. And it's Hudson Nagy getting the edge over Orr into turn number 1.
So it looks like the outside line's the preferred line on this restart, that you want to be rolling that outside, making up as much ground as you can, and then tuck in and go pick them off one by one.
Here's the third place battle. That's the 4 of Thompson, the 8-10 of Kyle Mesenberg, the former V8 stock racer. The front 4 trying to get away here. The sun really coming down as the cars negotiate turn 1 into turn 2 and up the hill. Darrell, does that sun really bother you as it gets lower and lower?
It does not at all, honestly. The visors we all have some sort of glare protection on the visors. You don't notice the sun at all. You're so focused on what you're doing out there. That's no concern.
Lonnie Thompson, that white number 4 in the middle of a 3-car battle for the second spot on the track. Hudson Nagy out front by about 12 car lengths now on Ethan Orr. Then it's Thompson and Mesenberg, your front 4. There is a battle for 7th. Van Steensel in the 71. The 07 is Ramsey there. He's there as well. The 14, Cody Wilds. There's the Ramsey on the back rear decklet of Brad Collison in the 13. As Nagy's all by himself out front. The rest of the field pretty much nose to tail will come around halfway this time by. There's the gap from the leader to the rest of the pack.
So
5
you know
down,
the
5 to go.
36 is the former 22 Super Stock, who always had really good speed out here. And so stick in the new driver, let him get comfortable, and here's what he can do with it.
Yeah, that was Chase Pinsnow, the former driver of that particular automobile, was doing double duty. Super Stock and late model. A few weeks ago, Chase said, I'm going to focus on late model. I'll bring Hudson in for the Super Stock.
Man, these young guys, to be able to do that, I can only do one or the other. To do both, no way, man.
Good battle there as Ethan Orr will lead the field. That's a battle for second through turns 1 and 2. There's Mesenberg in the 8-10. The 39 is David McCullough. The 71 is Van Steensel. Cool little story with Connor Van Steensel. Joey will tell us more about the 71 coming up at intermission. As the field will come around, 3 laps to go here in heat race number 1 for the Super Stocks. It is Hudson Nagy out front. Go ahead, Darrell.
Yeah, Nagy out front, and McCullough's worked his way up into 4th, trying to catch down Lonnie Thompson, see if he can make a move on him before this race is over.
Yeah, top of the screen there you see side-by-side battle for the 5th spot. Van Steensel will take it over Mesenberg. 2 laps to go here for the leader, the 36 of Hudson Nagy. About a half a straightaway lead on Ethan Orr. Then it's Thompson, McCullough, Van Steensel looking very racy in that 71. Right on the rear decklet of the 39 of David McCullough. And contact with the McCullough machine through turns 3 and 4. But they'll stay right there. White flag on the speedway. McCullough and Van Steensel doing battle for the 4th spot on the track. They got Mesenberg in tow just behind them. There you see the leader. Hudson Nagy through turns 3 and 4 one final time. Checkered flag in the air.
71 makes a dive bomb. See if he can get some ground, get some traction coming up out of 4.
Underneath, Van Steensel. McCullough will hold Van Steensel off for 4th. And that'll do it for the first heat race here in the Super Stock class. There you see the winner of the first heat race, the 36 of Hudson Nagy. As mentioned, the Super Stock's doing a twin feature double points night tonight for that division. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Down here with Gary Adrianson. Gary, quite a bit of a different night in terms of your team's preparation. You've got to deal with your qualification run plans. You've got to deal with the long endurance race. Walk me through your preparation.
We're looking at trying to see what we can do to keep me cool, but thankfully the weather's taking care of that. But it's just a matter of setting the car up for a long run instead of, we're running twice so many laps, and you got to wait for the car to come to you. You can't just, the feature at a regular one, you still got to get going. You don't have a whole lot of time to wait. With this one here, you can be more patient and calculated and, work your way through traffic as much as you can. And that's pretty much it, just setting it up for a long run.
So this is going to be the first time of the season you guys are going to run qualifying laps. Is there a car out here that you think is going to surprise some people in qualifying?
I think that Chase Pincinel looks fast in practice. I mean, if he keeps it up in for the qualifying, then I think he's going to be the guy that really turns some heads tonight. I mean, he already turned my head tonight, so I expect that to stay the same.
All right, big night tonight. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joey and Gary Adrianson. When we come back, more Super Stocks on the half mile. It's Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Don't get caught unprepared this summer. White's Rental is your one-stop shop for lawnmower tune-ups and repairs. You can visit us at our new location, 785 Little Simcoe Street.
Join us September 30th for the Yes I Can Gathering for Girls at Matthews Hall, a safe place for girls 12 to 14 to work through the tough stuff they face every day. Go to www.waymakerinc.ca for more information and to register.
To make your dream come true. Tuesdays on City TV. It blew me away. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a special effect.
We've done some moves we have never, ever seen.
This is an audition I'll never forget. It was amazing.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays 8, 7 Central on City TV or stream anytime.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Soares at Darrow Lake, top of the tower tonight. Joey Langdon trackside getting set for heat race number 2. Super Stock division are doing a double points night, twin feature night tonight for the Super Stocks. The one twin 35 lap features later tonight. We'll also have a 75 lap late model feature coming up. A gorgeous night here and going to be a fantastic night on the track. Pete Vanderwist Jr. will have the pole here, heat race number 2. Outside row 1 will be Ryan Dyson. There'll be Rick Wood and Chenoweth, row number 2. Jay Dewar, the defending series champ, along with the Bright in row 3. Zardo and Trevor Culver, row number 4. And the points leader, Carson Nagy, shotgun on the field here, Daryl, as we've got white flag here, one lap to go.
So it'll be interesting to see Carson Nagy. He's been one of the fastest cars here every night, but he had a little bit of an incident up there at Sunset last week for the Quick program. So it'll be interesting to see if they got that thing fixed up and got him just as fast as he was before that.
Yeah,
so.
The 93, the last few weeks, maybe the last month, really likes that second higher groove here at the half mile. We'll see if he uses that. The field coming out of turn 4, pace car on pit road to look to the flag stand into the restart zone. Racing with the Super Stocks at Delaware. Vanderwist Jr. and Dyson side by side into turn 1. The field will funnel through 1, up the hill in 2, and down the back. Dyson, not a bad run on a corner exit. Chenoweth with a great corner exit. Tries to get the third, and he'll get third over Rickwood. Bright trying to follow the 89 through on the high side as the field will come out of turn 4. Dyson will lead lap 1.
Dyson was able to pinch him up out of 4 and take away his line, and that gave him the enough he needed to get out front. So let's see if he can make a run for it, or if Chenoweth has a little hunger in his belly for him.
Field will come through turns 3 and 4. We'll slip down there to our finish line camera. We'll hear the roar of the Super Stocks, this time by Love that sound. Love that sound. You don't really hear what we hear when you're in the cockpit of a late model or a super stock, but that's an awesome sound. Chenoweth trying to fight Dyson for the lead now. The front two trying to get away. Bright up to third. Vanderwist Jr. is falling back to fourth.
Chenoweth looking to the inside, up out of fourth. We got a good run on him. See if he knows the spot.
Dyson on the outside. Chenoweth on the inside. Chenoweth looking to grab the lead out of turn number 2, and he will do that. New leader, Sean Chenoweth in the 89 at the point. Dyson falls to second. Bright, Vanderwist, and Dewar, your top 5. Zardo, we got a problem with the one car. Trevor Culver ducks off the track.
Tire.
You might have a tire going down here on the pit road. Comes the number 1. Right side tires look pretty good though, Daryl.
I almost thought it looked like me right front, but no, he's all right that way, so I'm not sure what happened there, but
Battle for second and third on your screen right now. The 20 to Dyson, the 45 of Bright. There's Vanderwist. There is Culver now, and it's not a tire going down because he would have went right into the stall. There's something under the hood with the one car, Daryl.
Something with the ignition system, or you just see whether the carb is popping and farting, who knows, but yeah. Issues. Not a good way to start the night on a double feature night.
The 45 of Ryan Bright to the inside of Dyson. Battle for second. Coming out of turn number 4.
Leaning on each other up out of 4. Always fun to see. That's what I loved about the Super Sox was that you could rub fenders, you could put tire marks on each other's cars, and you'd both come out of that car smiling, laughing, having a good time.
Bright to second spot. There's Vanderwist underneath Dyson. Top left. Culver still under pit crew consultation with that one car.
Dyson looks like he's in trouble. He's stuck on the outside, and guys just rolling underneath him here.
Jay Dewar and that Richard Petty look-alike 43 to the inside of Dyson. He's the defending series champ. Zardo in the 36 trying to follow him through. As Daryl mentioned, the 28 of Dyson trapped outside. There's Carson Nagy. The points leader hasn't been able to move much through the field. Still Mart at the back.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see how much him and Zardo both have struggled to make headway. So cars just that close in that racey tonight that nobody can make up ground on each other.
The one of Culver back on the track now as the field comes around to take white. Sean Chenoweth in the 89 all by himself out in front. White flag. He'll take it this time by. Single file behind him. Bright, Vanderwist, Dewar, Zardo. Now Nagy has followed Zardo up a spot. But the battle is for the second position as Chenoweth will go into turn number 3 one final time.
See if we have a dive bomb this time around. No, it doesn't look like anybody's able to do it. So
Dewar looking to the inside. Chenoweth will take the checkered flag. Here comes the rest of them. Bright, Vanderwist, Dewar, Zardo, Nagy, Rickwood, Dyson, and Culver will come home at the back of the field. Now we look at the front row that started the feature. Vanderwist Jr. on the pole finishes 3rd. Dyson outside pole finishes way back in 8th, so not a good run for Ryan.
No, not a good run for Ryan. And we just heard his suspension issues on the one car, so I wonder if maybe the link for a sway bar broke on him and dragging the sway bar around the track, which can really end your night quickly.
Absolutely, and on a double points twin feature night, you want that car rolling good. There's the 89. Sean Chenoweth rolling into victory lane for heat race number 2 of the Super Stock division. And when we come back, we'll go group qualifying with the late models. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Do you have questions about menopause and the menopause journey? We've got you covered. Join us for the Modern Woman's Menopause Show, and hopefully we can give you some answers. And of course, my friends, don't forget to sparkle.
Welcome to Treat Yourself.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV on a gorgeous Friday night from Delaware. It's Chris and Daryl up top. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Down here with Ethan Orr. the 57 Superstock. Ethan, great run out there. It's a double points night, over 100 points possible. You can make up some real moves in the Rookie of the Year chase tonight. What's changing in the strategy?
We're gonna try to run consistent and of course try to bank some more points.
So last year you ran V8s alongside Kyle Mesenberg. You guys both moved up. Kyle Mesenberg beat you pretty handily last year, but this year you're beating him pretty handily. What changed with your team that you were able to make such a big jump forward?
I think it was mainly just last year the car was holding us back, but with this new car we're able to, dial it in more, of course, and just get her going.
All right, your team's hard at work tonight. You got twin 35s. Do you think you're going to take it easy for the first race, go hard for the second? Or do you think you're going to maximize points in both races tonight?
We're going to give her in both for sure.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joey and Ethan from the Super Stock division. All right, we're going to go group qualifying with the late models. Looks like the opening is going to be 5 cars per, I believe. Now let's go to our late model driver joining us tonight, Darrell Lake. So we're doing group qualifying. You got a 75 lap feature, which is double your normal feature distance. Is there any, obviously you want to finish as fast as you can to start at this quickly to the front of the field as possible, but how important is group qualifying when you have 75 laps still to come?
So for group qualifying, I always hated being the first car in the group because there's no rabbit to chase. So for me in qualifying, I always needed a rabbit to try and chase. If I was out there by myself, I'm terrible at setting a lap time on my own. So I needed a rabbit to try and gain on and push myself to try to catch them. So that was always the trick for me. And I mean, let's face it, I was never that strong at qualifying anyways. So maybe it's better to be out front.
I think we're going to go 5 laps, if I'm not mistaken, per qualifying session. We have we'll wait and see. Green flag
most of the time for qualifying, your fastest lap is going to be your third lap. You always set the tire pressures down more than you would normally start them at, but certainly relatively low, and then they grow over the first 2 laps, and then your third lap and your fourth lap are your money laps.
Darrell's going to be watching lap times on the track. The 45 of Barry Watson, the 11 of Jason Linster, the 70 is out there, Brandon Vanderwell. The 69, Lloyd Rawlings. The 53 is out there as well, Brady Smith. There you see the 11 of Jason Linster from St. Thomas, Ontario.
So right now, Linster's got the fastest at 18.848.
Yeah, Linster top of the board right now, followed by the 70 of Vanderwell on the board, the Watson, Rawlings, and then the 53 of Brady Smith. As Jason comes around and completes another lap, go ahead.
Well, Vanderwall just took the lead for the session with an 18.803. So we'll see how well that sticks and holds on.
Brandon Vanderwell out of Sarnia, top of the board right now. As he works turns 3 and 4, white flag on the Speedway. So doing 5 laps here, groups of 5 cars in the late model division to set the field. Is there usually an inversion with a 75-lap feature, Darrell, or not?
I think there's a dice roll that they normally do, but only the pole. Only the guy that gets the pole actually gets to roll that dice, and I mean, depending on who gets it, man, Sheridan always managed to roll like a 2 or a 3. It's shocking every time, man. He's got a horseshoe in the trailer somewhere.
We'll see how the field shapes up at the feature. We'll know exactly what the dice roll was. Checkered flag on the Speedway.
So lap 5, 18.601. He certainly improved himself there in the closing lap.
So take us through our 5 drivers in that session, Darrell.
So Linster had an 18.601, and then we went to Vanderwall with 18.803. Brady Smith with his first time out in a couple of years, actually, with an 18.832. Lloyd Rawlings, 18.849, and Barry Watson rounds out the group with an 18.932. So,
and we just saw Jason Linster leading the first group into Tech Garage. That's a mandatory visit after qualifying?
Yep, mandatory visit. And so if he's already rolled through there earlier tonight, then there's usually nothing to concern yourself with through there. It's just basically making sure that nothing fell off the car, and you're set, and then you make your adjustments for the feature.
All right, so our next set of drivers is out there as well.
So
we have Gary Adrianson. The 1 is Sean McGlynn.
Sean
McGlynn out there as well. The 10 of Jesse Kennedy. The 18, Patrick Friel. Looks like just 4 cars in this session. I believe it is just 4 cars. White flag on the Speedway. Oh, is there 4? Yeah, there is only 4. So Gary Adrianson with
Gary,
that number 1
making
slot.
Up speed down the back straightaway now. You want to try and overdrive turn 3 on your warm-up lap to get some heat in that tires, and then you come off strong, get those rear tires sliding, and take that green.
Yeah, he was sliding for sure. The 55 a little loose out of turn number 4, green flag. The next group number 2, now on the track, just 4 cars. Adrianson, Kennedy, McGlynn, and Patrick Friel. There's the 55 of Adrianson. He'll come and mark his first time.
So Adrianson on lap 1, 18.640.
Yeah, second on the board for the 55 already. The 10 of Jesse Kennedy to third on the board. 6.80. Patrick Friel comes by. He goes to second.
And Sean McGlynn comes across at a 7.55.
McGlynn hops on the board in the 5th spot early. Right now it's still Litzter, Friel, Adrianson, Kennedy, and McGlynn. So all 4 drivers on the board in the top 5, but nobody can knock off Litzter just yet. Oh, until just now.
Patrick Friel in 18.556.
Patrick Friel, top of the board in the 18. Oh, another
Gary
one.
Takes him with an 18.5 even.
Gary Adrianson, top of the board in the 55. There you see Friel out of turn number 4. And if Patrick Friel answers the call, back at the top, Daryl.
18.493. So let's see if anybody else can pull something out of their hat for this last lap.
Adrianson did the favor right back at him.
4.69. Man, oh man.
Wow, both. Oh, Jesse Kennedy, top of the board.
Gee, 4.57.
Yeah,
and Patrick Friel back 4.55. Man, they just keep bouncing all over the place.
They do keep bouncing. Here's Adrianson, one final opportunity.
Can he answer it?
No, here comes Kennedy, final chance. No, it's going to be Patrick Friel, I believe. Checkered flag. Can McGlynn do it? No, after 2 groups.
6.63, so Patrick Friel takes it there. So the
after 2 groups, it's Friel at top of the board. Kennedy, Adrianson, Litzter, and McGlynn, your top 5. Wow, they were just 3 of them were just going back and forth with each other during that run. My goodness.
So the impressive part here was I was talking to Gary there before the qualifying session, and he's actually saving his 4 new stickers for the race after this. So he's actually on 100-lap old tires right now. So for him to do that with that old of tires, you know he's got a good car out there tonight.
Let's go trackside to Joey.
Down here with Jason Lister. Jason still holding on to 4th in the on the standings right now after you led Q1. How did it feel out there?
That's pretty good. Track's still a little bit dirty from the monster trucks, and the rain's washed all the rubber off, so it's a little bit of a struggle to find the handle on it, but I think everybody's in the same boat.
So the rain's washed the rubber off, but it hasn't washed the dust off, that's right?
Somehow, believe it or not.
So you were fastest in Q1. We're still going to cycle through the qualifying. Where do you see yourself holding on with the time you set?
We're hoping to hang on to, honestly, 7th, 8th, right around there. That's about the speed I think we have tonight. We're looking more for long range here. Just want to thank Southwinds Roofing, DNS Plumbing, McGregor Auto Parts, BDO Canada, JM Greenhouses, Dominion Lending Center, Bill Fair, GWB. These guys all help us. It's great to be out here tonight.
Where do you think your car fits in going long runs compared to a lot of these other cars out here?
Well, last time we had a 75 lapper, we were just outside the top 5. We didn't quite have the car right, but you know, I'm hoping that that's probably where we'll end up, right around the top 5. I'm hoping that's what we're looking for tonight.
All right, busy a little bit. I'll let you get back to it. Good luck.
Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Back upstairs.
Thanks, Joey. Jason Lister, white flag, group number 3 of 4 groups. Another 4-car group. Marshall Schrank, Ray Morneau Jr., the 22 of Kyle Steckley's come to the half mile for a visit tonight, and the 52 of Mr. Sheridan. Could be a good group here.
So Sheridan was only 0.02 of a second slower than the first place car in practice. So look for him to set down a blistering lap here in the next couple.
That's the 22 of Schrank coming out of turn number 4 to lay down a time. Immediately he's 4th on the board, Marshall Schrank. Ray Morneau coming around to hit the stripe. Morneau up to 4th, drops Schrank to 5th. Here's Steckley.
Steckley up to 4th now to 4.78.
Right now it's still Friel, Kennedy, Adrianson, your top 3 on the board.
Schrank to the top 3. With an 18.400.
Schrank to the top of the board.
Does Morneau answer it? No, 4.79.
Do you get better track conditions, Daryl, in the later groups?
I don't believe so. I think that the track more or less stays the same, but again, I was never great at qualifying, so what do I know?
Kyle Steckley, top of the board, Daryl.
2.06, my goodness.
And that's
Marshall Schrank with a 2.94 in second. Wow, these guys are flying.
And when Daryl says 2.06, that's after the decimal point. Those are 18-second laps. 18.206, fastest lap for Steckley. White flag on the speedway.
Surprised by Sheridan here. He's only setting the 7th fast lap time of the 5.17.
White flag on the Speedway. Still a pair of 22s top of the board. Steckley and Schrenk. Morneau to third. Drops Friel to fourth and Kennedy to fifth.
Morneau with a 3.63, so he's close there. He's about a tenth and a half off the leader at the moment. See if he can pull something out here.
Last chance for Steckley and Sheridan. Here they come. Steckley at the line.
Steckley at the line beats himself with a 18.159.
Sheridan on the board.
Sheridan to a 4.45.
He's in fourth after three groups.
Wow,
It's
Steckley down to 1.59 in this trim, man. Wow.
18.195, the time to beat. Steckley, Schrenk, Morneau, Sheridan, Friel.
That is
your top
hauling
five.
the mail at a 1.59. Wow.
You were talking about Gary Adrianson after group number 2. He's still on the non-sticker tires. Those are 100-lap old tires. Obviously, that makes a difference. So what does that tell you? Is the car handling really good, or what does that tell you?
That tells you the car is handling really well, and that so what ends up happening more often than not is that you burn up all the good rubber in these cars on these tires in the first, call it 30, 35 laps, 40 laps. That's when you really see guys start to fail and fall back. If you remember in the previous 75 lapper, I think Jesse was fading. I think Sheridan had a real blistering issue. I know I had a blistering issue, so by the time that all happens, tires start to equalize about lap 50, and then that's when Gary will really start his march forward, and the handling on his car will shine.
White flag on the Speedway, the final group for late model qualifying here. Chase Pinsnow out there in the 22, along with the 51 of Matt Robley, the points leader Connor Pritico in the 19, and the 60 Ronnie Beauchamp Jr.
So I don't know if this is a coincidence, but why is it that the 22s are all the fastest out here tonight? Steckley, Schrenk, and Pinsnow.
Okay, so green flag on the Speedway. Pritico gives himself a lot of room behind Pinsnow, and Pritico will now take the green flag. Robley and Beauchamp Jr. pretty close together, about 10 car lengths apart, as they'll take the green flag now. Under green for 5 laps here of late model qualifying group number 4.
All right, Pinsnow was fastest in practice earlier today, and he started with an 18.502.
Where's that put him? Because there's too many 22s on the scoreboard up there, Darryl.
So Pinsnow's back in 9th at the moment.
Okay. So nothing changing as far as top 5 on the board just yet. Oh, we got 3 22s on the scoreboard,
Here
Darryl.
we go. Pinsnow moves himself up with a 2.49, so still got a little work to do, but he's at least on the front row as it sits.
Connor Pritico to 4th on the board now, the points leader. As the field halfway through their qualifying session now.
Chase Pinsnow 2.47, Connor Pritico 2.99. Let's see if he betters himself here.
Pritico, no, he'll stay in 4th.
3.05, man, that consistency, 2.99 to 3.05.
Matt Robley gets in and breaks up the 22 party at the top to 3rd now.
18.280. I know he's been struggling with the car, so it's good to see him get some lap time back into it.
Very good lap by the 51 of Matt Robley. Coming to a lap to go very shortly here. And I think it'll be the 22 of Schrenk. No, it's checkered flag for the, not Schrenk, but Pinsnow will grab the checkered.
So, as it sits, Steckley's on the front row with Pinsnow, so we'll see if Pritico's got an answer here.
Pritico to finish. No,
Pritico. I'm quite surprised by that. The speed he's shown all year, I really thought he'd be up there.
Robley stays in 3rd. Here's Beauchamp Jr. No, so it'll be Steckley, and is that Schrenk?
Pinsnow, Steckley, Pinsnow, Robley, Schrenk, and Pritico.
That's your top 5 after late model qualifying. There probably will be a dice roll, and we'll see how that plays out when the 75-lap feature field gets set out. More to come. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
Monday. My name is Philson Farah with Pilla Nonprofit as Program Leader of Birds Capital, and I am this week's guest of Pollinating Purpose.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff here, and we're back for another fantastic season of Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff. We're going to cook some great food with some really great folks. We're going to use some unique barbecues, and we're going to have a lot of fun. As always, I'm going to be wearing some pretty unique shirts as well. watch Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff Thursdays at 7:30.
Over Kid York. 78 points. Over Lake Sardo. Now 1 point.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Soares and Darrell Lake. We're inside the intermission now. Right off the top, if you were joined us last week, horrific crash in the V8 stock racing with Doug Stewart. Went into a turn 2 wall, destroyed the car. He walked away, a little bit of a limp at the time, but he is good, and we're very gracious of that. And I was talking with Doug this week. He received a lot of feedback on his social media pages and whatnot. And he asked Rogers TV, hey, could you send out a thank you statement to everybody that reached out to me this week? And we're pleased to be able to do that. So I'm going to read that to you right now. I'm going to take my glasses off here. This is Doug Stewart. After my crash last week, I wanted to let everyone know that I'm feeling good. I'm very sore and bruised, but x-rays have shown no broken bones. I'm also surprised and overwhelmed by the concern and support that I have received from my fellow racers, crews, and fans. Even people I did not know contacted me. The safety crew got me out of the car fast and safe. I have raced at Delaware for 42 years, and I have never been so proud to be part of our racing community. Whether you are part of a race team, Delaware staff, safety workers, or a fan, you help to make our sport great. My car is destroyed, but its design helped save me, and our mandated safety gear made it possible to be talking about it now. My great crew is behind me, and my wife is so loving and supportive as I start looking for a car to race next year in the V8 stock class. This is a great sport with great competitors and fans. I am grateful to be part of it, and I thank my family, my friends, and all of you. And that is courtesy of Doug Stewart, longtime racer here, over 40 years at the half mile and other tracks. Your thoughts, Darrell Lake, on Doug Stewart's statement?
Well, I mean, my first thought is, man, racers, we never get called smart out there, because you know, that kind of a wreck and he's already looking for a new car. That's his just intensity of wanting to be on the track, and I second that for sure. It's a heck of a hit. I heard today that they found the steering rack for these cars out in the campground after that hit. Like, that is a impact. So good to hear that he's doing well and that he's on the hunt to come out there and have some more fun.
Doug, glad you're watching. Glad you're okay, my friend. More to come. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
My name's Ranger M. I love to knowledge share, and that's just what I'm going to do with you. So come on, let's go learn with Ranger M.
Welcome to Treat Yourself on Rogers TV, where Terry and I go out to local salons and spas and have services done on us so that we can tell you all about them.
So that you can treat yourself.
Looking for the best way to get the Major League Baseball games you want to watch? Rogers Super Sports Pack has you covered. With MLB Extra Innings, you'll have a premium ticket to out-of-market regular season games with all games available in HD. Don't miss the action from the games you want from both the American and National Leagues. MLB Extra Innings, part of the Super Sports Pack. For only $35.95 a month, Rogers customers get all this for one all-inclusive price. Order using your remote starting on channel 431 or visit Rogers.com today.
Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Joined now by Mr. Walt Spivak, who is celebrating 75 years associated with the half mile. Glad to have you on with Rogers TV. Tell us about the history here with the Spivak family and Delaware Speedway.
So, yeah, it goes back to in the mid-70s when my father bought the track. He bought it from the Brody family, and we just thought it would be a great thing to continue on, and here we are many years later.
Yeah, thoughts on 75 years?
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time.
What are some of the changes that you've seen
at the track?
Well, somewhere in the track, on the concourse. What are some changes that you've noticed? Not just improvements, but changes.
Yeah.
Changes in atmosphere.
Yeah. So There have been many ownership groups that have rented the track from us, and this is the first time that we as owners are part of the ownership group. So we've invested heavily into the track, into the concourse, into stands, to try to make it a better experience for the race fans.
Yeah, and it's not just racing. Just last night you had a country concert here at the half mile in the infield or on pit road with the London Rocks the Park Delaware nights. It was a fantastic showing. I was here. It was a fantastic night. But yeah, it's not just racing here. You guys have put on the shows, wide range of them.
Well, now we have an opportunity to do many multifaceted entertainment events here, right? So I think that the concert series will continue and just get better and better and better.
Yeah, and I think it was 2 off seasons ago, correct me if I'm wrong, you really tried to establish a second groove here at the half mile, and the racers love it.
They do. Now it's two lane racing, so that's great. But before it was all single lane to a certain degree, but now that now the 2-lane racing, so it's good.
Yeah, it's why don't we keep Mr. Spivak here with us as we open up the first super stock feature as we'll go trackside here. And Walt, you can stay with me and do a little broadcasting. How does that sound? We'll open up. We'll open up the. Have you done?
I'm not that great with it. So.
We'll open up the super stock first of 2 features tonight. 35 lap feature. We'll keep you on there until the first caution. And actually, he has to go. He just got called away. So we're going to thank you very much, Mr. Spivak. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Walt Spivak and the ownership group will come out of turn 4. Looking to the green flag. We're racing for a super stock feature. It's Hudson Nagy will take the field into turn number 1. Great field here. Remember, it's the first of 2 features, folks. 70 total laps, 35 each. It's Hudson and Nagy bringing the field. Ethan Orr in second, and side by side back. Chenoweth looking 3 wide out of turn 4.
All right, out of 4. Here we go. We got a big wreck on the front straightaway.
Carson
Nagy,
a wreck in the front stretch. It's Stewart around.
Oh my gosh, that is
Van
nasty.
Steitzel around. The 14's in there as well of Cody Wilds. The 13 is Collison's in there.
Wow. That 45 was up sideways on that wall. He climbed that Jersey barrier and just.
The 45 was in there as well.
Shaft, which I probably made.
The 45 was in there as well, Daryl.
He was. He climbed the wall and he's way down here.
The 45 of Bright towards turn 1. That's right.
Yep. He's. That was nasty.
Let's go to the replay. Take us through it, Daryl.
Let's see what happened. Oh man, Bright just got real loose up out of 4 and just clips the wall, and just it's accordion effect after that. You're going so fast and going so full throttle, you don't have time to react.
The rest of those 4 cars there you see involved were just nowhere to go.
Yeah.
No place to go here.
Yeah, it comes a parking lot real quick. The cars are so fast, you can't react.
We're on red flag condition right now here at the Speedway to open up our first of 2 super stock features.
Man, you can smell the tire smoke from up here. Wild.
Absolutely. Bright in the 45. Or sorry, not the 45. That's
Bright in the 45.
Yeah, it was the 45. Yep. My apologies. Here with another look here. Daryl, take us through it.
Yeah, it just gets loose up in there, and then Dewar checks up, and then Nagy couldn't check up in time, and
oh, you saw Van Steitzel. Van Steitzel was clear. He hit the brakes, but got hit from behind.
Yep.
By the 13 of Collison, and then the 14 of Wilds came in as well.
Yeah, a lot of damaged cars out of that one. That's unfortunate. Not a way you want to start at the double feature. We were talking about you want to just get through this first one and be smart. And yeah, I think when Bright thought he was 3 wide, he just he tried to give her too much throttle, and unfortunately got up out of the groove where it gets dirty, and you lose the back end in a hurry.
Red flag conditions. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Join us September 30th for the Yes I Can gathering for girls at Matthews Hall, a safe place for girls 12 to 14 to work through the tough stuff they face every day. Go to www.waymakerinc.ca for more information and to register.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Mario Elia, and I'm the host of a new show here on Rogers TV that we're calling Keeping London Healthy with Dr. Mario. So tune in Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and we'll see you then.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hide that behind the one. Welcome back, Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. We're under red flag conditions, super stock opening feature, and this is why, as we'll have Darrell Lake take us through it.
We slow it down a fair bit.
I'm not sure if they can.
Oh, yeah.
That's breaking.
Yeah,
And now watch behind there. 4 cars behind. You see the blue and yellow car, Van Steitzel. He's slowing up.
Slowed up, and he's on the binders hard.
Yeah, Cody Wilds got into Collison, and Collison got into the 71.
Yeah, you can see him out of a total lockup, which, I mean, those tires get flat spotted when you do that anyway, so he's going to be in trouble. But hate to see that sort of stuff when you are getting woed up to get a hit from behind. Just...
Yeah, and like we mentioned, the first of 2 twins tonight for the Super Stocks. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Down here, one of the hottest prospects in stock car racing, Kyle Steckley. Kyle, you've had a very fascinating season so far. A little bit of an excursion in the NASCAR Penny Series last week.
Yeah, we were on the dirt at Ohsweken Speedway this week with Kenny Schrader, and unfortunately got rained out, and he needed a driver to fill in, so I hopped in the car, and we ended up second, which was pretty cool.
So tonight you've got you ran pole despite running in the 3rd qualifying session rather than the 4th. Car feels dialed in tonight?
Yeah, we were working on it in practice. Didn't have it quite there, but we made some good adjustments. My APC Auto Parts team here is doing a great job, and I think we have a good car for 75 laps tonight.
So it's August now, still plenty of time left in this season. I know you've got a lot of plans this season, but is it about that time you start thinking about next season?
Not yet. You know, you just got to stay focused on this year, keep coming to the racetrack ready to win, and do the best we can here to end off the season and hopefully clinch a APC Series championship.
So you mentioned the APC Series championship. Are the fans here at Delaware expecting to see you out here again a couple times this year?
Yeah, I'll be back for a couple more invitationals to end this year off, and then obviously at the end of the year with the APC Series and NASCAR Pinty Series, the big long weekend, Fall Brawl, and the end of September.
All right, a lot of 22s in the crowd tonight. A lot of them yours, some of them Shranks, some of them Pinsonos, but looking to try and show up in front of the crowd tonight. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. We got a great APC Auto Parts Pennzoil 22 here, so hopefully we can make the fans happy and put it in victory lane.
All right, good luck. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joey and Kyle Steckley. Kyle returning in September. DelawareSpeedway.com for your ticket information for that. We've got the Labor Day weekend, and we got the Great Canadian Race Weekend, September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. The APC Series in on the 23rd. The Penny Series on the 24th. That's going to be a fantastic 3-day weekend. Of course, Kyle, the son of former Pinty Series / CASCAR Series champion, Scott Steckley, the top stock car series north of the border as we've gone back to yellow flag conditions. Hopefully, Darrell Lake, that these cars can maybe get themselves fixed and back for, if not this feature, then their second feature.
I think some of them just had some front-end damage, whether it punched out a rad or some crash bars.
And
we'll see.
The boys in the truck just said that they got your slow motion here, so take us through it. Opening lap.
All right, so you can see 39 even gets a little bit loose there, and yeah, he's just up out of the groove there, and there's no grip up there. Gets up into the wall, and then everyone else is on the binders trying to woe up. So that's going to be real hard for Dewar because he's got a lot to overcome now, and Nagy's also involved. So I mean, hey, it might open up the door for guys like Zardo, Culver, and Chenoweth to try and make up some ground that they were looking for.
Yeah, so 5 total cars involved in that opening lap crash here. Super Stock feature race number 1. So we got the Dewar machine returning. Front end damage on the 43. Here comes the 14 of Cody Wilds. That front end pretty mangled on the 14, returning to the pit road as well.
Good to see Dewar rolling back out there, so he's just going to have to be gentle on the nose, but he's never been one to use the nose anyways. He's got a fast enough car. He should be able to roll that outside as much as he needs to and pick them off one by one.
So still under caution here, and we're going to remain under caution. Gives us a chance. We kind of, the intermission kind of went faster than we thought as far as the track moving along this lineup. I wanted to sit and talk with Darrell Lake, and you saw Darrell listed in the top 10 in the late model points. at the start of the show, and obviously he's up here with us and not running late models. The last time we heard from you was on an interview after an incident in your last late model race. You were pretty frustrated with late model racing, and you decided that you're parking it for the remainder of the 2023 season, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but why the decision?
It just boiled down to we'd already forked out a good amount of money to get the car fixed after the first one when we got turned in the first 75 lapper, and this was going to be about another $20,000 hit. And so at that point, when we were looking to sell the car at the end of the year in order to move back in and go back super stock racing, it was just too much to fork out and not be able to get back in return. So unfortunately, it's just the part of racing that it's terrible and it's sad, and there's only one other place I'd rather be than sitting here doing this broadcast, and that's down there in the driver's seat. But
well, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. And obviously, it's not free to race, and that's why you have all the sponsors around the car.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you really do need the sponsors in order to stay out on the track when you have situations like that. I know there's a lot of great people involved in racing that help everyone out, and London Drive Systems is obviously our big supporter and keeps us on track more often than not.
There's Cody Wilds, 14 back on the track. We're going to go white flag next time by. It gives me a chance to ask you any thoughts yet on 2024 Darrell Lake Racing?
Well, 2024 we are going to put together a super stock and go have as much fun as what these guys are having. So
nice. That's awesome.
It's going to be a good piece. We're going to do everything to the best of the knowledge that I've gained over the years of racing, and
that's awesome to hear, Darrell.
See if I can have as much fun as they all are.
All right, so here's your opportunity. A quick contact information for anyone looking to hop on board Darrell Lake Racing in 2024.
Anybody that wants to reach out to us, you can get a hold of me very easily on London Drive at London Drive Systems at 519-644-1200, or shoot me a message on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'm always available.
Working on the 45 right there.
Yeah, you can see some of that, Dan. Look at that rim coming off of there. That is not what you want to see on lap. What? One.
All right, here we go. Actually, not a registered lap. We're going to start it right now. Feature race number 1. Looking at the green. They got it. We're racing with the super stocks. Hudson Nagy, Ethan Orr on your front row. As the field will go through turns 1 and 2. Good run. There's Orr in the blue.
Gets a good run up at a 2.
Yep, Thompson in the 4. McCullough in the 39. Pete Vanderwist in the 7. Field pretty nicely tight together out of turn 4, but Hudson Nagy trying to get away. Three wide
again. Wow.
Chenoweth to the inside. We'll try and grab a couple spots.
Wow, they sorted out going into 1, and there's still 3 wide further back in the back. Carson Nagy trapped on the outside, trying to find a hole down the back straightaway.
Chenoweth to the inside of McCullough for position. That's for 3rd. And Vanderwist is almost around in the middle of the corner, but he keeps the 7 straight.
Zardo makes a move to the inside of McCullough. McCullough tries to chop him there and take away the line, but he opens her back up, going through 1 and 2. Chenoweth to 2nd, coming up at a 2, down the back straight. Got eyes on the prize, going for the lead here shortly.
Here is the Ethan Orr machine. Battle for 2nd with Chenoweth in the 89. Then it's Lane Zardo quickly to the inside of Ethan Orr for position. That's for 3rd. So Zardo coming in the front. McCullough trying to follow him through. Great battle mid-pack here as Hudson Nagy continues to try and get away, but Chenoweth trying to track him down.
Single filed out there now. Looks like Culver getting by Lonnie Thompson here now. Some contact up at a 4, almost causing a wreck at a 4. Oh my.
Yeah, Jay Dewar in the back of Mesenberg at the back of the field, still green. It's Nagy coming out of turn 4. Chenoweth and Zardo your top 3, or back to 4th. Then McCullough rounding out your top 5.
Carson hungry for the lead. He's getting by Vanderwist here for, I'm not sure what spot that is, but yeah, going through 1 and 2.
That's for 6th.
Takes her out of there. So I'm sure he'll tuck in behind McCullough, going down the back straight away, take that spot. Oh, caution on the track.
Yeah, we've got a caution on the speedway. Car around high in turn number 2. It's Culver in the 1 with 30 to go, and Culver had some problems in his heat race as well.
It's like he's got wonder if he's having that suspension issue that he had there in the heat race, whether it's coming back to bite him.
Let's go to the replay. What do you got here, Darrell?
Oh, I see something dragging back there.
I see sparks there, right rear.
Something off that right rear tire.
Is that maybe a leak getting on the tire and causing a spin, perhaps? Maybe. Oh, what was that?
We just saw it come off the car
Something
there.
Came
I
off
wonder
the
if
car.
that's a U-bolt and that back end is walking on him.
Yeah, something definitely came out of the right rear of the 1 car there. We saw at the end of that replay.
Yeah, on a leaf spring car, they have U-bolts that kind of connect the leaf spring to the rear end, and so if one of those is loose, that thing's going to be walking all over, and it's going to be very unpredictable.
I think we got another look here. Yes, we do. Okay, take us through it, Daryl.
Yeah, it looks like he knows he's in trouble, and he's trying to get up out of the groove.
You see the sparks right there? Something's dragging.
Yeah, there's definitely something dragging there. Yeah. Gee, I can't see what that is, but yeah, he knew he was in trouble as he came out of 4. It was unpredictable for him, so he tried to get clear where he could get clear and just get the car spun out, so you get a caution and try and take a look and get this thing fixed up, see if they can get her going for the rest of this race. Man, he's having a tough night.
Yeah, under caution, 5 laps in to Super Stock feature race number 1 of 2 tonight. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Down here with Connor Van Steensel of the 71. Connor, 2 races scheduled for tonight, but 1 lap in, you've put it on the trailer. What happened out there?
I think it was just honestly over-aggressive driving. I mean, we have, like you said, we have 2 races tonight, both 35s, and I mean, there's a saying you can't win it in the first lap, but I guess some people try to do that. So, unfortunately, we pay the ultimate price. We're going back to the shop and doing a lot of body work and mechanical, and where else is wrong. I think I can hear my rad hose leaking. It's definitely unfortunate.
Does this change the plans of the 71 team going forward? We heard some rumors of the future of the 71 team, but does this incident, do you think it changed the plans at all?
I'm not entirely sure on the rumors, but we're going to try to come back for the rest of the season. But really, I owe it to my sponsors, Austin and Taylor Home Furnishings, Kelsey's Original Roadhouse, Ben Fleet Rental, Aqualux Bath and Spa, Chelsea Auto, Roy Robbins Garage, and Speed Pro Imaging.
All right, well, tough luck tonight. We hope to see you the rest of the season. Good luck with your team.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joey and Connor Van Steensel, driver of the 71. Not quite sure what the rumor part was, but I thought I saw Connor post the 71 maybe for sale on Facebook. Maybe they're trying to sell the automobile.
I think that's more so usually just to try to upgrade the car and try and get into a little bit better equipment if he can. So,
okay.
And I sense the frustration. I mean, yeah, you lap 1 to have your night over on a double points. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys want to race. That's what they showed up here for us. What they paid their way in. That's what they want to do. And to get taken out on lap 1 on a double feature night, there's just it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I can understand the aggressive driving maybe in front of him, but I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna give aggressive driving to Cody Wilds coming from at the back of the field. He maybe just didn't see what was going on and just hit the binders too hard or too late. Sorry, got into Collison. Chain reaction. Collison gets into Van Steensel.
So they have allowed you to have spotters in this division now, which they never did back when I was racing.
That's true too.
So you have spotters who ideally should be telling you, "Hey, big wreck on the front straight. Back up. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down."
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Caution is going to be coming out. So there's nothing to gain by trying to hammer down.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Lights off the Delaware Speedway pace car. 5 laps in the book in this 35-lap feature number 1 for the Super Stocks. Hudson Nagy up front. On the outside, it'll be Sean Chenoweth at 89, who's looked very, very strong so far this evening. They'll bring the field to green. Into the restart zone, the yellow painted line on the inside wall. There you have it. There's the red line. That's the end of the restart zone. Green flag, we're racing with the Super Stocks. Should be a good battle at the front of this field. Chenoweth sticking on the high side of Hudson Nagy. They'll fly side by side down the back. Zardo in third. McCullough the fourth. Here comes the points leader. Carson Nagy to the inside, trying to grab 5th.
Now it's interesting, you have a choice as a leader on whether to take the inside or outside on that front row, and for Hudson to take the inside just showed he felt that he had a stronger car that would turn better on the low side than the high side. So didn't work out for him this time around, but we'll see what he does in the future as Chenoweth takes over the lead going down the back straight.
Lane Zardo on the 36 looking very strong too, to the inside of Nagy. Hudson Nagy. Speaking of Nagy, Carson Nagy behind them to the inside of McCullough.
Gets
for
McCullough
fourth spot.
Gets McCullough shape up out of 4 and makes the move to the inside, rolls the inside, and he moves himself up into 4th with Big Brother in the sight.
Shocks were the issue on the 1 culvert machine. Daryl just hearing shocks. Thank you so much for that information. The points leader coming in the front. The 93, Carson Nagy. Right there, the white car in the 4th position behind the 36 of Hudson Nagy.
From nearly being involved in a wreck on lap 1 to just overcoming that and driving your way through and keeping your composure, man, this kid's on fire this year.
Nagy and Nagy on your screen right there. Hudson and Carson. Now Carson to the inside of Hudson for position. Chenoweth crossing the line. Carson to 93. Hudson into 36. That's the old Chase Pinsonneau Superstock to 36, and the points leader is coming.
And unlike Formula One, where there are no team orders, I guarantee you, brother to brother, they want to beat each other so bad that they're racing each other harder than they race anybody else.
Speaking of coming in the front, here comes the 43 of Jay Dewar. He just ran over 2 cars on a backstretch, got into them both, and passed them both. That was Dyson and Rickwood. He got by them, and he's already left them in the dust. Wow. The 43 of Jay Dewar's coming, Daryl.
Where did he come from? That shiny blue car, you wouldn't think you'd miss it, but wow, he's coming through the field well.
Like on a half-mile track, Daryl, can nose damage on a car actually help you?
I would say no. The aerodynamics on this is like, as much as we all play the games of trying to get the most aero and the most downforce and all these things that we try to do, on a half-mile track, it doesn't show up. At Ducasa, it would have. At Delaware Speedway, you just have a very good handling car, which he clearly does tonight.
The cream is rising to the top here. Superstock feature race number 1. It's Chenoweth out front. Zardo and Carson Nagy rounding up the top 3. Then it's Hudson Nagy, David McCullough having a good run, and Jay Dewar your top 6.
You know what it does do is when you get in a wreck that early and no fault of your own, it makes you angry. And I know that getting angry driving a race car, you gain 2/10 right from that alone.
Well, the front 3 separated by about 15 car lengths on the second 3, and then it's about 3/4 of a straightaway from Dewar in 6th, back to Rickwood in 7th. Dyson into 28 is slow, high in turn 3 and 4. Ryan Dyson may have a tire down. We're maybe having a caution here. Dyson's going to stop high in turn 4.
Brings out the caution, so we'll see if there's any penalty from doing that. Normally they put you down a lap for doing so, but he's obviously got an issue he's not comfortable with and needs to get down out of the way and hopefully get it resolved, because again, man, twin 35s, there's a lot of guys having issues here.
Culver, as a matter of fact, ducks back on the pit road off of turn 4, so he'll come back for consultation. And the 28, he might actually stop.
I wonder if he's down on power, if he's having a power issue out there.
We got an update trackside from Joey.
Cody Wild, the number 14, his team said under the last caution, they had to basically rebuild the whole back of the car. Luckily, they actually brought a welding machine with them to the track. Got lucky that today was the day they used it. They said they don't think the car is competitive right now, but they need to stay out for the points if everyone in front of them retires from the race. They might get lucky with Dyson here, pick up some extra points. Back upstairs.
That's a great point, Joey. Thank you so much. And speaking of Cody Wilds, the 14 back in to the infield from the backstretch entrance to the consultation of Cody's crew. The 20 to Dyson getting pushed into the infield as well, as you see right there.
Sometimes these races are more about attrition than having a fast car. Sometimes you can pull out a top 10 just by staying out and finishing the race, because so many guys end up dropping out. And again, where you're going to make up the most on that is this second feature, if all these guys can't get their things together to get out there.
Now, how did they work the starting grid for the second feature? Is it based on some sort of a first feature finishing order with an inversion, Daryl? How does that usually work? Do you know?
Typically, it'd be a inversion of the first feature, but sometimes they like to throw in the points results where you are in points with it, and then do an average. Or
so if it's an inversion and you're starting at the back of the field in feature 1, do you sandbag and wait for the feature number 2?
It depends where you're running. Not that I would do something like that, but it just depends where you're running.
Yeah, like would you just cruise around and feel your car out at the back of the field in feature 1, knowing that the invert will put you up to the front?
So the problem with that is that it depends. They'll only move the lead lap cars. They'll invert the lead lap cars and then put lap down cars behind them. Yeah. So no, if you're a lap down, you have to give it everything you got, try and get back on that lead lap.
Good point.
And then maybe sandbag a bit if you need to.
White flag on the speedway. We have 14 laps complete in Superstock feature race number 1 of a twin bill, double points night for the Superstocks. 21 laps to go. And it's really cooled off now here at the track. Some more grip will probably be coming into the track now for these drivers. Lights off the Delaware Speedway pace car. It'll dip down onto the access road to pit road. So Chenoweth will pick the outside lane here. Puts Lane Zardo on the inside. The points leader, Carson Nagy, inside road 2, and Hudson Nagy on the outside. Green flag, we're racing again.
Chenoweth with a real good start there, going down into 1. Already has the lead lane and is taking whatever line he needs to take.
Yeah, quick jump by the 89. Zardo quickly to second. Carson Nagy to the inside of Hudson Nagy for third, side by side. Now it's McCullough. side by side with Dewar for 5th. Carson Nagy will grab the 4th spot. Oh, contact with Hudson Nagy. Carson came up in front of Hudson's nose a little bit too premature, and there was contact there. And now Hudson Nagy losing spots to McCullough and maybe Jay Dewar now. There's the battle. McCullough in the 39, 36 is Hudson Nagy, the 43 Jay Dewar.
And Dewar just continuing to pick the bones, let the other guys do the work and follow through the hole, man. That's what you got to do in these races.
And Jay Dewar, after being involved in a 5-car collision in the opening lap, is coming up. And next time by, we'll hear the Super Stocks. Will go down trackside to our start-finish line camera. And here's Chenoweth bring him through. That completed lap 17 of 35, 18 to go here. Sean Chenoweth being tracked down by Lane Zardo in the 36. Carson Nagy, the points leader, in 3rd. And still that battle between McCullough and Dewar for 4th.
So when you have this much of a lead for Chenoweth, what it allows you to do is back your corner up. So you slow down a little bit more than you normally would on corner entry. So you have this kind of good drive off. Look him drive away down the back straightaway.
Now, as far as the tire allowance coming into a double feature night, I know the late models, they got a 5th. They were what was the tire rule? Do you know for the late models in the 75? They would get 1 tire?
Yeah, I know I would have been bolting on 3 new tires for this race if we were racing.
So what would the tire allowance be for the Super Stocks doing twin 35s?
I don't know. I'm not sure what their inventory is like and whether they try to conserve. I remember talking to Pete Vanderwist, I don't want to call him senior, but it's junior that's driving now, but Pete Vanderwist Senior talking about how these tires seem to get better as they get older.
Oh,
so,
really?
At this point, you might want older tires for this kind of night.
Front 3 trying to get away now. There's Zardo and Nagy. Carson Nagy, your 2nd and 3rd running vehicles. Nice 3-car battle for 4th. About a quarter of a straightaway behind them with McCullough, Dewar, and Hudson Nagy. The field pretty strung out now.
Those top 3 just in a class of their own, just laying down the laps and driving away from everybody. Let's see if Zardo's just been saving something or if he's doing all he can to try and keep Carson behind him.
And Jay Dewar seeing those front 3 trying to get away in a double points night to the inside of McCullough. Those front 3 at the front of the field, they occupy 3 of the top 4 spots in the points. The 4th spot, currently Jay Dewar, 2nd in the points, trying to get back up to the leaders. And he's past McCullough now. And he's up to 4th.
Now, if I'm Jay Dewar, I'm praying for a caution. Not yet. I want to cross the start-finish line and then get a caution. Close that gap back up and go after him.
Zardo under attack now from the points leader, Carson Nagy in a 93. Down the back they go. A little bit of damage on the front of that 93 as well from that opening lap little collision.
Yep, there is. So yeah, look at it flap open there. So as he gets right up under that 36, it doesn't really affect the handling much. And he's had a fast car even after the damage he got last week at Sunset. He's been doing a good job, and the car is obviously right back to where it was.
We're inside Super Stock feature race number 1 of 2. Twin 35 lappers tonight. 10 to go this time by. For the leader, the 89 is Sean Chenoweth.
Carson looking to Zardo to go to the inside. Couldn't quite mount enough of the speed, but he's right on him. He's pressuring him, trying to get him to make a mistake.
Meanwhile, in 4th, Jay Dewar has left McCullough and Hudson Nagy and trying to bridge that gap between McCullough and that battle for 2nd between Zardo and Nagy.
So in this situation, if I'm Jay Dewar and I've got that much of a gap in front, that much of a gap behind, I'm just trying to stay in front of that guy and just conserve the car and hope for a caution, because you're not going to catch him in 9 laps to go. You're not going to catch him.
Carson Nagy to the inside of the 36 is Zardo. Zardo will close the door on corner exit again. That's been the norm the last few laps, Daryl, as the Carson's been able to get on the inside, but Lane's had good corner exit.
Yeah, it looks like Lane's getting a little tight center, so he's trying to slow up more than he typically would. And Carson's still rolled in the center really well. Yeah, you can see his calipers glowing there on Zardo, so you can see he's got his hands full.
7 to go that time by for the leader. Chenoweth in the 89. That's your battle for 2nd on your screen. Zardo in the 36. Nagy now to the inside. A little bit of contact there. But Zardo gets away again, 2nd and 3rd on your screen. Half a straightaway behind them is the 43 of Jay Dewar, all alone in 4th. But the battle is that one on the screen right now. Nagy looks like he's got a little bit more than the 36, Daryl, but just can't get a by lane.
Yeah, he's just really pressuring him, trying to get him to make a mistake. Personally, I'd probably use my front bumper a little bit more. Maybe he's a little afraid with that damage that he doesn't want to take out a rad, trying to move his good friend Zardo.
Absolutely. Back in the field, McCullough's in 5th, Hudson Nagy in 6th, Rickwood 7th. Trevor Culver's responded for 8th.
There you go. Carson's leaning on him a little bit more there at a 4, letting him know I'm faster. I want this line, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to take it. So make room.
The 36, Zardo says, no, not yet, but 4 to go next time by. And Jay Dewar slowly, now he's to the inside, to the door, out of turn 4. Nagy on the inside, Zardo on the outside. Carson Nagy is there. Into turn number 1 they go. Battle for second with 4 to go. Side by side out of turn 2. Nagy now with a half a car length lead for second. And Zardo's going to give it to him.
Yep, Zardo's smart to just let him go at this point. He's got position on him.
Crossover. Looked like he tried the crossover there. You can see the 36 car lit up by the rotors of the 93 last time in turn 3 braking. With 3 to go now. Go ahead.
Carson's going to do everything he can, but 3 laps to go. I think he's just out of time. I think Lane held him up too much, and you just don't have enough time to get the job done here. So unless we get a late race caution, which, let's face it, the way this race has gone, it could be possible.
That 43 of Jay Dewar is fast. Jay Dewar has almost tracked down this battle for second. There's Jay Dewar. He was also involved in that first lap altercation with 5 other vehicles. Final lap. White flag on the speedway for Chenoweth. So Sean Chenoweth. Got Vanderwist. He stopped at the start-finish line.
Oh, caution.
He's absolutely stopped. We go caution on the speedway.
Caution, caution, caution. That is exactly what he did not want to see. Now he's got to do everything he can to hold off what has been the most dominant car this year. Man, this is, to me, this is what Super Stock Racing's all about. Just head-to-head. Let's have at her, boys.
And welcome back to the picture, the 43 of Jay Dewar.
Yeah.
Who's now going to start in the second row outside on this should be green-white checker finish, I would think.
So if you remember earlier how I said you just be riding and saving your car in case something like this happens, this is why you save it. This is what you're doing, saving it for.
Caution with 2 to go, trackside to Joy.
Down here with Ryan Dyson. Ryan, tough luck out there. It seemed like you lost power in turn 4. Couldn't get it going again. What happened?
Yeah, the car fired off really good. We drove up to almost the top 5 from outside the top 10 early, and something just started vibrating pretty bad, and I tried to drive through it, and it looks like we blew the transmission out of the car. So I'm going to attempt to see if we can find one down here. We have a spare one. It's just sitting in the shop, so not doing us much good right now.
With tonight being twin features, a lot of points were at stake. You're going to pick up points for the first race. If there's any shot of getting even green flag points for race 2, do you think you're going to be able to do it tonight?
Yeah, we'll try. If everyone remembers last time there was twin races, we came out with half a race car just to try and get the points, but just the way this season's gone, the luck and stuff just hasn't been there. It's been the worst year of racing I've ever had, but it's not due to a lack of effort, and tonight's just a little bit of icing on the cake.
All right, well, sounds like you got a lot of work to do. I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you guys do, too.
Back upstairs.
Thank you very much, Joy and Ryan. Caution on the speedway as they're looking at the 7 of Vanderwist Jr. As we'll go to break. 2 to go in Super Stock Feature Race number 1 on a beautiful Friday night. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Blow out all candles before you leave the room or go to bed.
Never leave a burning candle unattended.
When you go out, don't forget to blow out.
Most people that have received treatment for drug use problems are probably going to have a lapse.
Join addictions counselor Dean Anderson for Invisible, Breaking Through the Stigma of Addiction on Rogers TV.
I'm Mike Jack. I've broken multiple world records and won several competitions for eating some of the world's hottest peppers. Now, I'm challenging London restaurants to make some of the world's hottest food.
Damn, speak
Oh, how are you doing, man? Uh-oh. Watch Jack Up the Heat Mondays at 5:30.
Green, white, checkered Super stock. Chenoweth will lead him out of green and down the back with a lap and a half to go. Dewar to the inside of Carson Nagy. Then it's Zardo in fourth. Hudson Nagy in fifth. Here they come. White flag for Sean Chenoweth.
Wow, Carson got real loose out of four, giving it everything he had. Just Jay Dewar licking his chops, taking his chop at the opportunity here.
First and second in the points. Behind the leader right now on the track. It's Carson Nagy on the outside for second. Dewar on the inside for second. Out of turn four. Checkered flag for the first of two features. We'll go to Chenoweth in 89. Jay Dewar comes all the way from an opening lap 5-car collision to grab second spot and gain a few points on the 93 of Carson Nagy, finishes third. Zardo and Hudson Nagy will round out the top 5 to open up the first feature of 2 for the Super Stocks. What a recovery by Jay Dewar.
Wow, talk about facing adversity out there, just to overcome a car that's that damaged and just drive her all the way through the field, man. He must be angry to be driving it that hard and come up through the field that well. But here's Chenoweth coming around, take his checkered flag and go into victory lane. Yeah, he had a strong car. He was the fastest lap that race, 20.077, and nobody had anything for him. He showed what he's got.
And Jay Dewar, you said, probably was angry for the majority of that feature, but I bet you he's feeling pretty darn good that he's got a piece tonight, because he's got a piece tonight.
Well, let's hope he's not feeling too good and he keeps some of that anger for feature number 2.
Momentarily, we'll send it down the trackside to hear from Sean Chenoweth with Jordan Maudsley. As we wrap up feature race number 1 of the Super Stocks. Coming up next is the late model 75 lap feature. Told you it was going to be a good night, race fans. And then after that, it'll be the Super Stock feature race number 2, another 35 lapper for the Super Stocks. And there you see Sean getting out of the 89 after taking feature race number 1 for the Super Stocks. And we'll send it down at trackside to Jordan Maudsley.
Gonna add that trophy to the showcase. Sean, excellent run. You dominated that one. How did that feel?
This car's a missile. Just proved we're wreck. Route 19 Auto Parts, myself, Quick. I got a whole bunch of supporters, KR Communications. Not possible without them. I'm pretty sure this is our last night here this year, so maybe we can finish off the next one with another one.
Look quick. Excellent race, John.
Did he say his last night?
Ask him to ask him.
He's only 8 points back now.
Hello.
Yeah, they're trying to get Sean to ask why he said his last night, because he's now only 8 points off the points lead. And I guess he won't answer Jordan, so we'll talk more about that on the other side of the break. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
For over 50 years, White's Rental has been providing local contractors and members of the DIY crowd with professional quality lawn and garden tools, aerial lifts, and construction equipment. White's Rental, we have the right equipment to make your project easier.
Hi, I'm Dan Mailer. I'm the host of London Lights, the show where we talk about notable Londoners who have made a big mark, big impact on the world of music, entertainment, sports, politics.
It was my daughter's birthday. She was blowing out the candles on her cake when we heard coming from the TV. So we stopped and listened, and it helped us get to safety. That's why when I think of my daughter's birthday, because now she gets to keep having them.
Welcome back, Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. We just heard Sean Chenoweth, winner of the first of 2 Superstock features, say this is the last time out for the 89 car this year. We just got the updated points. Darrell Lake, who joins me tonight. Carson Nagy, Jay Dewar now tied for the points lead. Lane Zardo 7 off the pace. Chenoweth now 8 off the pace. coming in tonight 18 off the pace, so we gained 10 points, but he said this is the last night for the 89, so we got Joey trying to find out more. Can you believe what he just said?
Yeah, I cannot believe that, to be that close into the hunt and have that strong of a car. When the car's handling that well, to hop out of it, man, I can't fathom what's going on there. Yeah,
it's something going on for sure with the 89 of Sean Chenoweth. Now we get set for the late model 75 lap feature. And I'll be totally honest here. Oh, let's go trackside to Joey. Joey, what do you got for us?
Down here with Carson Nagy. Carson, good race out there. I just want to point out, Ryan Dyson's team just walked over and they asked you something.
Yeah, they're looking for a spare trainee. I guess something broke there. So we'll see if we can give him a hand here in a second.
So you brought out Hudson Nagy tonight. He's your brother. You were leading the points coming in tonight. Is there any thought that Hudson's going to take some points that some of your rivals can't?
Honestly, that was never a thought. You know, Hudson didn't really have a bunch of racing on his schedule this year.
Speaking of, I got to get out of the way. Hudson's coming.
It just kind of so happened we're near the end of the year and we were able to purchase this car off the Pinsnow Racing team. So, yeah, just a really weird coincidence.
All right, well, you got another race tonight. Sean Chenoweth just said something. He's now the closest in points to you. He just said he's not racing the rest of the year. Do you believe him?
Not at all. I love Sean. I know he's a man of his word, but I don't believe I think he'll be back here for the rest of the year.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
All right, Joey and our points leader, Carson Nagy. Carson now tied with Jay Dewar for the points lead. Lane Zardo 7 off the pace. And Sean Chenoweth 8 off the pace. And they still have another feature to come, Darrell Lake, which should be interesting.
Man, now this late model race getting ready to get going, though. The 52 car starting on the pole with the 19 right behind him. You got no room to... Or is he starting right beside him?
No, Connor Pritico coming in the pits here.
Does that mean he gives up his starting position? What is happening here?
I don't know. You would know that more than I would. And I'll say for the record right now, I wish I saw the 77 down there. I'll tell you that right now, my friend.
Well, when it is down there, you can't miss it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Very bright paint scheme. But, yeah, looking forward. Darrell Lake telling us earlier tonight, folks, he's coming back in 2024, but behind the wheel of a super stock. So looking forward to that for sure.
Yep, I've been just researching my butt off trying to find anything I can find, any grays or loopholes in the rule book. That's what it's our job to do, and the tech guy's job to try and close those holes. But I've already made some enemies in the tech booth in my years past, in my younger days, so I'm trying to do it right this time and check with him before I just go ahead with stuff.
Now what is your, I don't know if you can tell me any of this, but what's your plan of attack? Do you start looking for a car right now, or do you think, well, maybe one of these current super stocks might be done at the end of the year and we'll look into maybe purchasing that, or are you already looking?
Oh, as soon as I posted the late model up for sale a couple of weeks ago, I had many of the super stock guys coming over and saying, buy my super stock, buy my super stock.
There we go.
So there's no shortage of them that are up for sale or available if you show up with the right dollars. So there's some out there that are available that are good cars. So just a matter of deciding what way we want to go and what way I think is going to be the most competitive in years moving forward.
Very interesting. Yep, let's go trackside to Joey. Thank you.
Down here with Sean Chenoweth. Sean, you are now 8 points back in the championship. After tonight's last race, you could be leading this championship. But in that interview, you said tonight's your last night. You're not finishing the season. What was that about?
Yeah, we got so many things going on, and my actual home track, Flamboro's really struggling to get cars. So I feel like the right things to do is go down there and support when we can, and I just can't do both. It's just too much going on. I didn't come here racing for a championship. That wasn't our plan. We just came here to get our nights in to qualify for the Quick, and we're well beyond that. So I'm happy with where we're at. The car's fast. They know we're here, and good luck to whoever's in the championship battle, and whoever wins, congratulations.
After tonight, if you find yourself leading the Delaware Championship, is there any thought back at the shop that, man, wouldn't it be cool for a Flamborough Barnstormer to take the Delaware Championship?
It'd also be really cool to walk out on top.
Thank you very much. Well, good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Back upstairs.
All right, half a lap before we go green. Quick comments on Sean Chenoweth deciding he's going to support his hometown track.
Hey, I was getting worried there that he was throwing in the towel for some reason, but that wouldn't be like Chenoweth. So, no, it's good to see that at least he's taking the heart to take it back home and support the track that needs it the most right now.
So, Connor Pritico will now start inside row 2. 75 laps of late model racing set to go. Green flag, we're racing at the half mile. It's Sheridan and Morneau at the front of the field, and Jake Sheridan trying to get the lead early.
Look at that run on the high side up at it too. Wow, he's got a strong car tonight. I think he was just holding his carts back there in the qualifying when he got that big of a run.
You want to hear the late models? Let's hear them this time by. Jake Sheridan in the 52, a rocket ship high in turn 2, down the back. Morneau in second, Robley to third. It's Kyle Steckley in fourth and Jesse Kennedy to fifth. It's a who's who at the front of this field.
Oh, looks like Beauchamp's up better the groove, whether he's got an issue or he's just struggling with tire pressures right now.
The late model train down the back there is Pritico on the inside of the 22 of Pinsino. That's a battle for sixth on the racetrack. They got Patrick Frio right behind him.
Now, interesting, Pritico struggling at the beginning of the race is very uncharacteristic, so I wonder if he pulled off because he thought he had an issue, and now he's really struggling with that issue during the race. This is not a fun one to struggle for 75 laps if you do have an issue right there.
Leaders out of turn 4, Sheridan at the point, Morneau right there, Robley in the 51, Kyle Steckley in the 22. In the fourth position, Jesse Kennedy rounding out the top 5. Under attack by Pinsino for fifth.
As fast as that car was in practice and in qualifying, I wonder what the 22 car Pinsino can do to try to get back up and give Sheridan a run for his money.
One of the days that you marked on your calendar if you're a Delaware Speedway race fan was tonight, a twin super stock feature and a 75-lap late model shootout. Inside the 75-lapper right now, 6 down this time by.
Watch the 22 car in the 10 on this entry. He's going to open his entry up and try and get a run through the middle and off the corner to try and get up underneath the 10 car. He's doing whatever he can to try to find a hole when there's not going to be a hole.
That's a battle for fifth on your screen right now. Kennedy in the 10, Pinsino in the 22. Out of turn 4 they go. Now a little bit of heat being shown by Kyle Steckley on the third place car of Matt Robley.
22 car Steckley trying to shape up on the Matt Robley 51 machine, trying to see if he can find a way to get by and start going on the attack. He's got a sniff of the lead, he wants it.
The rest of your top 10, Pinsino in 6th, Pritico in 7th, Frio in 8th, Adrianson in 9th, and Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. rounding out the top 10 right now. It's Jake Sheridan at the point, though.
Now, as Jake Sheridan leads this race, he's just doing what he has to. He's not pushing the car. He's just taking it easy, conserving those tires. I texted him before this race started and told him don't blister him like he did last 75. So I'm thinking he's being conservative when he can be.
Everybody nose to tail. The front of the field probably about 7 to 8 cars deep.
There goes with 22 is Steckley underneath Robley and up part of 2. Drag race down the back straightaway. Yeah, he's in there. He's in there. We'll see if they can hold it.
Steckley to the inside of Robley. Robley caught on the outside. Battle for fourth. Steckley's got Kennedy in tow on the inside of Robley behind this battle for the lead. There's Steckley, the 22, the 51 of Robley, the 10 of Kennedy right there, the 22 has the Pinsino also there.
They are lined up behind the 22 of Steckley, so Robley's got to give all the fight he can give right here to try and hold position and not lose too many spots. So Matt's going to do what I would have done, backed off of it, tucked in the hole, and go back after it.
Sheridan starting to stretch his lead out a little bit off of Ray Morneau. Let's see what Kyle Steckley has for the leaders. He's up to third now.
Good run for the 03 car. I know they've been really struggling this year as well with their car, but they found something here tonight because they're rolling very strong and very safely in the second spot. Rim in front, rim behind.
Now we got Pritico battling with Robley. That's a battle for 6th back in the field. There's Sheridan. There's Robley in the 51. Pritico in the 19. Pritico looking to the inside of the 51. Pritico's your points leader. Patrick Frio right behind them in the 18. $15 laps complete, 60 to go for the leader. Jake Sheridan at 52. They're about a straightaway away from having to deal with back marker traffic.
Yeah, they're starting to close in on some of the lap traffic, and sometimes that opens up a hole and creates an opportunity for the guys to close the gap and get racy again. So we'll see if he can catch them at the right time or whether it means the hole's going to close up for him.
Kyle Steckley has reeled in Ray Morneau Jr. now for second spot. And Steckley in the white 22 trying to get to the front.
Now in this situation, I'm going to let Steckley go to try and let him run down the 52 car and let those two fight and hope to bring me back into the fight. So here I'm going to back out of it, let him go.
Steckley with a great run out of corner 2, gets to the inside of Morneau now. Out of turn 4, and Ray will shut the door.
Ray giving him a fight, doing everything he can to hold position.
Kyle really seems to get a good corner exit on corner 2 every time, Daryl.
Yeah, he gets a good run, but he's clear to the inside here now, and now there might not be a hole behind him to tuck into. Oh, it just opened up. So lucky for Morneau now. He just hopes that Steckley's going to run down the 52 car and let him gain the room that he needs.
Steckley, Morneau, Kennedy, and Pincinot all together, 2nd through 5th on the track. Connor Pritico back in 7th, behind Robley trying to get through.
You can see Gary Adrianson really struggling on those older tires. He's trying to hold off what he can, but hopefully they can start to equalize here sooner than later for him.
Yeah, Adrianson back in 9th spot, Beauchamp Jr. in 10th position. Jake Sheridan into back marker traffic now.
Yeah, leader just starting to catch the lap traffic, so we'll see if he can catch him at the right time and keep putting work down on those guys.
He got past the one of McGlynn. Next up is the 70 car of Vanderwell. Steckley looks like he's starting to track the leader down a little bit. Morneau under pressure from Kennedy for 3rd. There's Sheridan, the leader. There's Connor Pritico in the 19, that's their points leader. Behind the 51 of Robley, and in front of the 18 of Patrick Friel.
Yeah, looks like Jesse's been trying to size up Ray Morneau for a few laps here now, so he's getting the nose to the inside here, but we're going to hit lap traffic, so that might help Ray a little bit more.
Sheridan gets past the 70 of Brandon Vanderwell.
Oh, here's Jesse and Morneau side by side, but a lap car, will that take the line away from Jesse and force him to back out a bit? Oh, man, they're squirrely down the front straightaway.
Jesse got his nose right underneath the rear deck of the 03, trying to get around the McGlynn number 1 car. Pincinot there as well behind Kennedy.
So Ray ends up using the 1 car as a pick and just to hold Jesse off for another couple laps yet.
That is your battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the track. Morneau Jr., Kennedy, and Pincinot. Under 50 laps to go in this 75-lap late model feature from Delaware Speedway.
Only a third of the way through the race, and these guys are racing like we're on the last lap already.
Chris Soares, Darrell Link up in the tower, Joey Langdon trackside. On a gorgeous Friday night 75-lap late model feature. Morneau in the 03, Kennedy in the 10. That is a battle for 3rd on the racetrack.
That is the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Everyone's stretched out a little bit and just riding and trying to take off laps and hoping for a caution to come out somewhere and not be the caution that comes out somewhere.
Meanwhile, at the front of the field, there's Connor Pritico in the 19. Kyle Steckley tracking down the leader. It's down to a quarter of a straightaway lead. They're back to the battle for 3rd on the screen. Morneau, Kennedy, and Pincinot, nose to tail. There's the gap, 1st and 2nd. Jake Sheridan at 52, Kyle Steckley at 22.
With no lap cars in front for a little while yet, we'll see who has a better car, Sheridan or Steckley, but they're both strong cars, so we'll see who's got their car turning the best in the long run.
Down the back they go, 44 and a half laps to go here. 75-lap feature, Jake Sheridan grabbed the lead opening lap and has not relinquished it.
Interestingly enough, Pritico seems to really be struggling in this race. I wonder what is going on with that car, because it has been an absolute bullet all season. So
absolutely.
Something's going on there that we'll never know.
There's Connor Pritico negotiating a pass on the lap car of McGlynn. Pritico is still marred in 7th spot back in the field. Kyle Steckley is coming to the front, tracking down the 52 of Jake Sheridan.
Jesse down the back straightaway on Ray Morneau down the back straight.
Side by side through turns 3 and 4 is the battle for third engaging. And Kennedy makes the pass on Morneau. Pinsino now to the inside back in the field as the leaders go into turn number 3. Pinsino gets ahead of Morneau for 4th. But they're a full straightaway behind the lead pair.
Morneau just shrugged, just lost 2 spots there on that pass from Jesse. So now here he's back down to 5th, and he seems to be struggling with the handling again. This isn't good for another 40 laps.
There's Morneau in the 0-3. Now the lead down to just 8 car lengths at the front of the field with 40 laps to go. They're not even to a regular feature length of 35 laps yet. There's
40
still
to go.
The leader's coming up on some more traffic.
And you see the 22 is closing that gap, so he does have a stronger car here. So we'll see if he can make some work of him when he does get to his bumper.
We'll see how Jake Sheridan negotiates these 3 cars he's coming up on now. The 53 will be the first one. That's Brady Smith. And then Barry Watson and Jason Lidster. Up the Delaware Hill and down the back they go. It's Sheridan and Steckley at the front of this field.
It looks like the 22 car of Steckley is a little bit stronger on entry and through the center. So Jake seems to be able to equalize through 1 and 2, but Steckley starts to close the door through 3 and 4 big time.
It's a youth movement at the front of the field. Both second-generation drivers. Jake Sheridan, son of Roy Sheridan, and then Kyle Steckley, son of Scott Steckley. Youth movement at the front of this field right now. They'll go to the high side of Brady Smith in the 53. Steckley closes in even more on the 52 deck lid.
Now they're starting to get into some of the faster lap traffic, so I wonder if that'll start to play a part in this overall race, because they get working up through the field, it's going to be harder and harder to start getting through these cars.
And you make a good point, because if we stay green, there's a 4-car battle about a straightaway ahead of the leaders, including the points leader of Connor Pritico. This will be very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough field to get through, so 35 laps to go. We're down to just a regular Friday night feature left for these guys, but it's been stretched out, and guys ready to start going to battle.
Is there a concern here that Kyle Steckley may have used up some tires yet?
I don't think so. I think as his car starts to come to him, it just keeps getting better and better. We start the race with our tire pressure so low in these cars. Like, I'm talking we would be around like 20, 19 pounds on the right side and like 10 pounds on your left side. So you're running them almost flat at the start of the race, so that as your tires build air pressure, the lower you start them, they can only build so much pressure. And when they get to that perfect amount of pressure, the car is working its absolute best.
Sheridan in the 52, Steckley in the 22. Oh, Sheridan goes a little high there. Steckley trying to take advantage, and Sheridan will shut the door.
He's to his bumper. Let's get a race out of this.
Next up will be Jason Lidster and then McGlynn again as Sheridan tries to negotiate traffic, and they got a 5-car battle and straightaway ahead of them. Nose to tail for the lead on a 4. 30 to go. The cars ahead of them are side by side.
Yeah, lap cars are side by side. This is going to hold them up, and it might open the door for Steckley to make a move.
Sheridan will go to the high side of McGlynn. Lidster there as well. Sheridan will look out right in front of the leaders. And contact.
Wow.
Contact.
No.
Watson goes right into Lidster. And we got a yellow flag on the speedway.
Oh, man.
Interesting to see what this did to the right rear of the 52.
I see tire smoke coming out of Sheridan's car. That's not good. He's got to come in. That hands it over to Steckley here now, who also did get some contact. So.
Yeah, Steckley did get contact. Marshall Schrank is in on pit road in the 22. Sheridan is in. Heavy damage on the right front of the 52 in the right door of Sheridan. There's the 45 of Watson. They'll check in on him. So the 52 is in.
So the 11 car got up out of the groove, much like the 45 car did in the Super Stock race earlier, and the car just stepped out on him, and you're just along for the ride at that point. And unfortunately, he did it at a really bad time.
Lidster got loose out of turn number 4. It looked like Sheridan was going to attempt to go through the middle in a 3-wide situation to lap those cars. And then Lidster went around right in front of the lead twosome.
Man, that is a hard break for Jake. He was really dominating this race.
Let's go to the replay here. So they're coming up on McGlynn in the 1, and you'll see Lidster left of your screen in the 11.
Yeah, the 11 and the 1 were racing pretty hard for not even position, so yeah.
That's a hard hit.
Oh, I guess Steckley didn't get as much contact as he thought he got, so he managed to get through there just enough, but he just clips him. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Hard right front contact on the 45.
Yep.
And so they're going to go to work on the 52, and they're cleaning up a couple of cars on the front straightaway. And they'll take a break here with 30 laps to go in a 75-lap late model feature. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
When you choose Pizza Hut, you're supporting a local, family-owned and operated business. We've been serving our community for over 35 years and take great pride in what we do. From our family to yours, thank you for choosing Pizza Hut and supporting local.
About 16% of the people we talked to actually became homeless during the pandemic. And it's a horrible thing to be.
To make your dream come true. Tuesdays on City TV. It blew me away. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a special effect.
We've done some moves we have never, ever seen.
This is an audition I'll never forget. It was amazing.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays 8, 7 Central on City TV or stream anytime.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Thanks for joining us. Chris Soares, Darrell Lake, topside. Join Lane and trackside. We're under red flag conditions now. We've gone from yellow to red for a multi-car collision in this late model 75-lap feature with 30 to go. 45 laps complete involving the leaders. There you see the 45 of Watson being taken away on the business end of the tow truck. There you see the work on the 52 of Sheridan. We'll see if the boys in the truck can show us that replay again, get you caught up on what happened and what transpired and what brought us to this current situation. Darrell Lake, take us through it one more time.
So leaders are coming up on the lap traffic, and they're racing pretty hard, not for position, and unfortunately the 11 car got up out of the groove and into just dirt and rubber and just no grip. And then he just, the back end steps out on him. I mean, there's just no saving. You can see he's got the wheels cranked all the way to the right, and there's nothing. You're along for the ride there, and just really bad timing for that, and such an unfortunate break for Sheridan. He had a good car tonight.
Yeah, you saw Jason Lidster in the 11 sawing on that wheel to kind of right the ship, but it was too late. And then after that, as the replay continued on, after that, the 45 of Watson came out of turn 4 and had nowhere to go and ran into the 11 of Lidster. So double contact on the 11 machine in the right in the front of that 45, totally demolished.
So now the 52 car is taking this opportunity to try to not only fix whatever the damage there was, but any adjustments that they may have needed to make the car handle a little bit better.
And there you see Jake's dad Ronnie on the jack right now, and we were watching Ronnie when we went away from break, and he was just shaking his head with frustration, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, such disbelief. Just you're leading the race, you're dominating. The 22's on you, so you're trying to go as fast as you can go through the lap traffic, and then to have something like that happen, it guts you.
Yeah, Kyle Steckley in second spot, battling for the lead, escaped without any damage, and now is the leader. When we restart, that moves Jesse Kennedy to the second spot, Chase Pinsino to third. Now we have the fifth place car of Matt Robley. Moving under caution on the pit road. So something up with the 51 machine coming in, turn 4, entrance to pit road, and Matt was running in the top 5, so not sure what's going on here, but he's told the crew that he's coming in, Daryl.
So what you're doing at this point is you got 30 laps left in this race, which is still almost a full feature race for a normal Friday night. So you're going to take this opportunity while we're under caution, while we're doing cleanup, make the adjustments that you need. You can throw the kitchen sink at it right now with the amount of time it might take to get cleaned
position,
up.
Aren't you?
Not really. You're just going to the back of the lead lap cars. So, and if you only have to pass 2 more cars to get back to where you were, it's worth it for those adjustments because you got a long race ahead of you still. So it's the right time to make the right changes and give you a fighting chance to get back up there and contend for a top 5, top 3, or give Steckley some run for his money as well.
The only counterpoint I would have to what you just said is he's only passing 3 cars. I believe 3 cars were lapped down to 70, and the 1 maybe only 2 cars. I don't think the leaders passed Lloyd Rawlings in the 69 when we went to caution. So this is a big move here by the 51. Connor Pritico also on pit road, probably doing the same thing as Robley.
So you take those opportunities to make the adjustments, and it looked like Connor was really struggling out there. Marshall Schrenk for the same thing. He needed some adjustments and get tuned up because they couldn't be competitive the way the cars were. And so,
do you see any advantage whatsoever to maybe adjusting air pressure, maybe adding it or taking it out at this particular point?
Potentially taking it out. Like I say, you start the pressure so low that you wouldn't want to add any more pressures. They're built up now. They're as high as they're going to be. So you might try to take out a little bit of pressure so that it allows the tire to not bulge in the middle of it. And so it allows you to have a more tire on the track and basically gives you more grip.
After all, they just ran 45 green flag laps without a caution, so those tire pressures are well built up.
So if I'm sitting in the car right now instead of up here in the booth, I am just sucking back on my water. I keep a Camelback, like a water pack in the zip tie it into the driver's door, and I am just gulping water as much as possible until you almost give yourself a stomach ache so that you're hydrated and ready to go for the next round.
Under caution, still working on the 52 of Jake Sheridan. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
And this one will escape the Niagara end. We have a counterattack the other way. Ooh, that's a pass right in front and a goal.
Wow.
And how quickly can defense turn into offense?
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff here, and we are back for another incredible season of Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff. We're going to tour some amazing backyards. We're going to meet up with some great folks, and we're going to cook some incredible food. Join us Thursdays at 7:30 for Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff.
I just wanted to take a few minutes to thank all the dedicated volunteers throughout the summer and the winter months and through the years for all your hard work and your dedication to giving up your weekends to come out and be part of the volunteer program here at Rogers. So I just want to say thank you very, very, very much.
Welcome back, Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV. You just saw a shot at pit road. If we can get that shot back, there you see the 52. Jake Sheridan rolling again. Returning to the racetrack. Matt Robley remains on pit road. They have the right side of the car jacked up on the 15 and working on the right rear. Now it's off the jacks.
Now, when you have the likes of Ron Sheridan and Nick Sheridan working on your car, it may not look as pretty as it did before that caution came out, but I guarantee you he'll have just as much speed. So what Jake will do here under caution is he's going to lay back and try and get up to speed, or at least a little bit of speed, throw it into one and just see how the car reacts and if it's going to have the grip he anticipates it to have come the restart.
Matt Robley returning to the racetrack as well in the 51. He is still a lead lap car. And would Jake Sheridan still be a lead lap car as well, Daryl?
Yes, absolutely. He's an accident car, but he is still very much on the lead lap. You don't lose laps under caution, so you're still on it.
Matt Robley will file in behind the 19 of Pritico, so that is in 10th position. And Jake Sheridan, if he takes his spot, he'll file in behind the 51 of Robley in the 11th position. And now Sheridan will move up past the lap cars.
Now, in theory, the 52 should be up in front of the 51, actually, because he pulled out in front of the 51. He just, 51 happened to file in at a closer time. So
that's right.
I'm sure that's where Sheridan's probably heading right now, is to say, no, that's my spot. Give it to me.
And the 51 was stopped on the backstretch and then moved to pit road when we went from red to yellow. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Hey guys, I can report I've met with the Lidster and Watson teams. Miraculously, no injuries to either Lidster or Watson. In fact, Lidster said the only injury is to my bank account. So thankfully, both drivers are okay. Their cars, very much not. Both of them are out for the night. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Joey. And as we see the flag man, Scott Mackey, switching Robley and Sheridan. So good call, Darrell Lake. That's exactly what they're doing. Sheridan came in way before Robley. Robley was parked with the rest of the field on the backstretch under red flag conditions. Then when we went to yellow, Matt came down pit road. So that's a good switch there by Scott Mackey.
Now, Litzer only told you a half truth. It's a hit to the bank account as well as the ego. So it's a bit of both, and they hurt both equally.
So we'll reset the field. Kyle Steckley at the point now. He'll start on the front row with Jesse Kennedy in the 10. Second row will be the 22 of Chase Pinstow and the 03 of Morneau Jr. Third row will be Friel in the 18, Beauchamp Jr. in the 60. Then it's Adrianson and Schrank, Pritico and Sheridan, and then Robley. That's your lead lap cars. There are 11 on the lead lap, and Steckley will pick the high side to restart here at the lights off the Delaware Speedway pace car.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I mean, Jesse's no slouch, so it'll be interesting to see how they get fired up. But Steckley knows what he's doing. He's a very smart racer, so let's see how this rolls out for him.
30 laps to go when the field comes out of turn 4 and grabs the green here. Late model 75 lapper. What a start by Steckley. He laid back in the restart zone and then gunned it.
Yeah, he tricked Jesse. That's a move of a veteran. For such a young guy, he knows exactly how to play the game to get the jump you need.
And the officials are okay with that restart, so Steckley is your leader.
And look at Morneau making a move to the outside of Kennedy here now as they get fighting down the front straightaway going into one.
Kennedy to the inside of Morneau for second. Pinsoneau is there as well. And the 60 of Ronnie Beauchamp Jr.'s come to the front to play for a bit.
Where did Beauchamp come from? Holy moly, mixing it up for a top 5 now all of a sudden.
And the leaders will work another lap here with 28 to go on the scoreboard here. And Steckley stretching his legs. Pinsoneau now to the inside for position. That's for third on the inside of Morneau.
Now getting Morneau pinch him just enough to maintain position, or is Pinsoneau have just too strong of a car that he's able to roll through the middle here and get the drive off?
Jake Sheridan off the pace, back in the field. The 52 not where it needs to be, and that's unfortunate for the 52 of Sheridan. He'll come back on pit road maybe here. No, he'll stay on the track. Unfortunate for the 52 of Jake Sheridan, who had a pretty good piece.
Something. He is fighting something out there that he's just not comfortable with and doesn't want to get caught up and make a bad thing worse.
Pinsoneau and Morneau battling there for
third. Here he goes. Sheridan's
around. In turn 2, he is around. Caution on the speedway. So Jesse Kennedy will get another shot here at Steckley on a restart.
Now again, Sheridan knows exactly what he's doing here. Yeah.
And folks, if you're accustomed to reading between the lines with Mr. Darrell Lake, you know exactly what he's talking about.
So what Sheridan did was he was going to come in and pit, but he knew that if he just pitted, he was going to go down a bunch of laps. So instead he went to the back of the field and looped her coming out of 1 and 2. So
yes, lost control.
He lost control. The back end stepped out on him. So it's the game that you have to play in order to give yourself a fighting chance, or else you're down and out. Now he still has a chance at it, right?
Caution flag on the speedway with 26 to go. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
I'm Mike Jack. I've broken multiple world records for eating some of the world's hottest peppers. Now, I'm challenging London restaurants to make some of the world's hottest food. Watch Jack Up the Heat Mondays at 5:30.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Welcome back. Under caution here, late model 75 lapper. 26 laps to go when we restart. Let's go trackside to Joey.
Before the yellow came out, Brendan Vanderwall came in. So it'll be interesting to see where he scored. He came in for a puncture, completely unrelated to what happened to Sheridan, and he was in pit lane when the yellow came out. So it'll be interesting to see where he scores, if they're going to mark him down a lap, because he was already in the pit lane when the yellow came up. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Joey. Not a full moon tonight over the Speedway, but there's full moon activities on the half mile for sure, as we get a white flag indicated from the flag stand with Jake Sheridan still on pit road.
So now we got the 22s lined up on the outside here, so with as fast as those cars were in qualifying, look for that line to roll well, especially if Steckley can.
There is a restart zone. It's a yellow painted mark on the inside wall on a turn 4, race fans, all the way to a double red line cone on the inside wall. The leader needs to restart within those 2 marks. If he does not restart, the other car in the front row can restart. Last time Steckley waited as long as he could, was way behind Kennedy by a car length, and then gunned it. We'll see what happens this time.
You know, this is the first time I've seen that restart zone.
Green flag, we're racing with the late models. Another great start by Steckley, but this time Kennedy a little closer now, inside of Pincinel for second.
Kennedy under attack from Pincinel, and they're drag racing down the back straightaway. With Pincinel on the outside, he's got momentum on his side, so we'll see if he can get rolling to it.
Jake Sheridan getting out of the car on the 52 in pit lane. And Sheridan is done for the night, and he's running to the infield for a reason. Not quite sure where he's going. Meanwhile, the race continues down the back. Steckley out front, then it's Kennedy, Morneau, Pincinel, and Ronnie Beauchamp Jr.
Interestingly, those 3 were struggling before these cautions, and now after the cautions, getting things cooled back down, his car's coming back to him again. So hopefully the tire pressures came down to that just perfect amount here for the last of this race, and he can do something with it for the last 25 laps.
A car we're used to seeing do a lot of dominating work. The points leader, Connor Prentico. Oh, we got Marshall Schrank high in turn 1. He's off the pace of the 22. Up into turn 2, he'll stop right there. And caution on the Speedway again here in the late model 75 lapper. This time for the 22 of Marshall Schrank.
See, now because he stopped on the track versus spinning out, that typically is a 1 lap penalty for doing so, for intentionally bringing out a caution. So we'll see if that takes him out, or whether this is a situation where it actually takes him out of the race.
Here he comes
down.
He
was definitely off the pace here.
Yeah, down the front stretch. He goes high into turn 1. He's waving.
He's got his arm at the window, yep, for sure, telling everyone, hey, I'm not at speed, guys.
And he stops right there in turn 2. Now he gets it refired and is under his own power.
So track officials don't like seeing that sort of stuff, so we'll see if something comes of that.
So back under caution, 23 laps to go in this late model 75 lap feature. The leader is Kyle Steckley.
Vanderwall pulling back down the pit road to get the attention of his pit crew and see if they can find a little bit more speed in that car and see if he can make up a few spots.
Not quickly into the pit stall, but they're going to consultation on the driver's side window. And we'll pause for a break with 23 to go. Late model 75 lap feature. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Don't be distracted and leave your cooking unattended.
Stand by your pan and look while you cook.
Thank you to all of our volunteers. Whether it's long production days or late nights, we appreciate everything that you do for us in helping put on our productions. Thank you, and happy National Volunteer Week.
Championship level. Sean Whaley, unbelievable knockout power. Amanda Lemos. Nobody in the division hits that hard. The octagon has descended upon Boston. Let's go!
Welcome back, Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Orr's, Darrell Lake, top of the tower, Joy Langdon trackside. Lights off the Delaware Speedway pace car. 23 laps to go. And it's Kyle Steckley choosing the outside lane. Here they go.
Steckley snookered on the first 2 times, and oh my God, you're wrecking in front of the whole field. Check up.
The whole field crashing in turn number 1. And quickly we go to caution, and lots of carnage here at the half mile.
Oh man, guys.
Kennedy gets into the right rear of the 22 of Steckley, turns him around in front of the field. Patrick Friel involved, I believe.
Gary
That's
Adrianson
Adrianson
involved.
We'll go to the replay. Watch this. The orange's car is Kennedy into the left rear of Steckley. Turns him around into the whole field.
It's like he thought he had an opening there, and it was not open, or he didn't like the games that he was playing. I'm not sure which one it was, but man,
Kennedy
that
got
was nasty.
Adrianson got hit hard from behind by, I believe, the Rawlings machine. Adrianson into the Patrick Friel machine, and carnage is left over. Wow. We went 45 laps green. We've gone 3 laps
Let's
with
see
4
what
yellows.
happens here. You can see the 10 moving up on him, trying to let him know I don't like these games you're playing, and then he just clips him at a wrong point, and just there's nothing you can do from 22 standpoint. He's along for the ride.
Kennedy gets through. Pincinel gets through. Morneau, look at the
Morneau
hit.
gets
It
through.
was McGlynn and Adrianson. Adrianson into a Friel. And heavy damage on
now,
the
did
55
Pritico get any damage in that? I wasn't watching his car.
Which one?
Pritico as the point leader.
I don't think Pritico got any damage. Pritico's not on the track. Pritico's on pit road along with Schrank. Lots of late models on pit road now. Adrianson is there. The 22 of Steckley, pit road near the turn 4 end. There's Connor Pritico, the points leader.
So Morneau has the most gain from this between Morneau and Jesse Kennedy. They were both tied coming into the night.
Let's go trackside to Joey Langdon.
Jake Sheridan was in the pits with Litzer, just talking. He looks over, he sees that Kennedy and Steckley went out. He immediately broke into a sprint back to his car, and now he's heading back out there, back upstairs.
Yes, absolutely, Joey. The 52 crew working now again on the 52 right rear. They were stagnant. Nobody was doing anything. It's Jake himself working on the 52 here with 23 laps to go. Good night, team strategy. It's not over yet, folks.
Wow, how the race has changed.
Kyle Steckley back under way on the pit road, back to the replay. Darrell, take us through it.
So yeah, 10 cars just moving up and moving up. He's probably intending on giving them a little shot in the door to scrub off the speed as they go to corner entry, and he just didn't get there in time and just gets them at a wrong point. You can even see Jesse pull back down and away to try not to do that, and it just...
Let's watch for the 19
the wheels
of
were
Connor
already in
Pritico,
motion.
the points leader, the 19 coming from your left. There's the 18, the 55 getting collided. McGlynn into the Adrianson. There's Pritico down low, below the 1 car. Brochamp got a piece of that too in the 60.
Well, looks like the 51
much.
car got woed up quite a bit, and looked like Pritico got woed up for the most part as well.
Yeah, so Pritico's in the pits for some reason.
He did get a little bit of damage, but nothing that a little duct tape can't fix.
So let's reset the field, barring any penalties, which we haven't seen yet. Jesse Kennedy is your leader. Ray Morneau up to second. It's Chase Pincinel in third. Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. in fourth, and Matt Robley up to fifth.
And noticeably Jake Sheridan jumping back into his car, so I wonder what in the world they are working on that one, because I am just stumped.
Trackside to Joey.
As Jesse Kennedy stays in front, it's worth noting that Kyle Steckley's 1 win at Delaware this year. 2 laps before the finish, he was involved in an incident with Litzer. We went to yellow, and track officials decided that to not give any penalties to Steckley and keep him out front. Now, it looks like they're staying consistent and keeping Kennedy up front. Back upstairs.
All right, thank you. Joey's still under caution here with 23 laps to go. We'll be right back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Don't get caught unprepared this summer. White's Rental is your one-stop shop for lawnmower tune-ups and repairs. You can visit us at our new location, 785 Little Simcoe Street.
And this one will escape the Niagara end. We have a counterattack the other way. Ooh, that's a pass right in front and a goal.
Wow.
And how quickly can defense turn into offense?
We want to say a special thank you to our volunteers who work in front of the camera or behind the scenes at Rogers TV. Thank you from our community producers, our hosts, our studio and mobile crews, and everyone in between who volunteers at Rogers TV. We appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do at Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway, and the drama continues. Jesse Kennedy has been issued a penalty, giving the race lead to Ray Morneau Jr.
How about that? I mean, if I was one of these other cars out there and he just caused that caution in front of me and caused me a bunch of damage to my race car, I'd be happy to see that he's at least getting penalized for that kind of driving.
Now he's lined up right behind.
Intentional or ununintentional, doesn't matter.
He'll line up behind the 22 of Steckley. What's this do for late model fuel mileage with all these caution laps now?
Fuel mileage I wouldn't be worried about. These cars all run about 100 laps on the APC Series races, so fuel mileage isn't as much of a concern. It's just now it'll be between Morneau and Pincinot and whether Morneau can hold them off. It looked like in the short run Morneau was able to, so we only got 23 to go. Can Pincinot score his first late model win in such a young age?
Critical back on the track, and Sheridan back on the track. Schrenk and Adrianson remain on pit road. White flag on the speedway. So Morneau will choose the high side, Pincinot to his inside. Then it's Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. and Matt Robley find themselves in row number 2. It's Kyle Steckley, Connor Pritico in row number 3.
So you can see Sheridan's car hopping as he goes down the front straightaway. I don't like the looks of that. I think he might have more, but yeah, he seems up to speed down the back straight, so we'll see. Here we go, getting ready to go to green, man. What a night.
Kennedy will start behind Steckley inside row number 4. Adrianson done for the night. Schrenk also done. Green flag, we're racing. Morneau trying to get the jump. Here comes Pincinot back to the inside. The front 2 have broken away.
Front 2 and then 2 by 2 behind them, and look at that. Robley, who came in for those adjustments, looking pretty right now.
Something wrong maybe with the Beauchamp car. He went high in turn 3. He slowed up Connor Pritico, allowed Robley to 3rd, and now Steckley quickly back up to 4th. Something wrong with the 60 of Beauchamp.
So Steckley really didn't take much damage in that wreck for everything said and done. So his car should actually be handling just as well as it was before that caution. So 22 to go. I wouldn't count him out yet.
Marshall Schrenk actually did return to the race. He's on track. Front 2 trying to break away. Here comes Steckley. He's the 3rd. Kennedy trying to get around Robley for 4th. This race far from over. 20 to go this time by.
I wouldn't even call it a long shot, but that 22 still has a lot of car that's sitting in 3rd. 22 in second's got a lot of car left too, but man, that 22 in 3rd is just a beast.
And here comes the 10 of Kennedy. He's around Robley up to 4th. Robley to 5th. Pritico now in 6th. The front 2 trying to get away. They're coming up on the Schrenk 22 car.
So as a leader, that's the worst case scenario. You hate having a car that is actually got good speed. That's going to be a lap down run in front of you. It throws you off your marks, and it's harder to hit your marks when you're trying to chase down the lap car that's still actually pretty quick. So
the longer these two battle at the front, the more opportunity for Kyle Steckley to get him up to him. They'll go the high side of Schrenk in the 22, in the black 22. And Kyle Steckley is tracking down the lead pair.
And give a shout out to Ray Morneau taking over the lead of this race on the John Rhodes Group night. John Rhodes has been a great sponsor for him over the last couple of years and really supportive, and it's good to see him having a good run on such an important night for him.
17 to go, that time by. It's Morneau Jr. at the point, Pincinel in second, Steckley to third, Jesse Kennedy back up to fourth. Steckley and Kennedy trying to track down the lead twosome. 16 to go this time by.
So 60 cars in for a flat tire. That was his issue, and now we got 16 laps to go, and the leaders are about a quarter of a straightaway ahead of the 22 of Steckley. We'll see if he can close that gap.
Connor Pritico catching Matt Robley back in the field for fifth. Then it's Rawlings in seventh position. Good run by Lloyd Rawlings. 15 laps to go here. Late model 75 lap feature, which has been full of drama.
The 03 got a little high up there getting out of 2, and it allowed the 22 to close up a door. And he gets a nose in here. Oh, he's got a nose there. Big a pass for the lead going into 1.
Pincinel to the inside of Morneau, up the Delaware Hill in turn 2 and down the back. Sheridan will dip down low and let the leaders go by. Side by side into turn 3 for the lead.
And this side-by-side racing only allows that 22 of Steckley to keep closing that gap more and more. They might be fighting for the lead here soon. It might be fighting for second and third.
Side by side, still for the lead. The 22 of Steckley is there. A great run by Steckley into turn 2. It's a 3-car battle at the point.
03 of Morneau giving it all he has, trying to hold on to that lead, because he loses it here. It's going to be a tough one to get back.
And Steckley quickly to the inside of Morneau. Pincinel has the lead, trying to get away now. Steckley to second, that quick.
Yeah, tuck in behind that 22 of Steckley and just see if he can make work of the 22 of Pincinel. So let's see what if Ray can drive a smart race. He might still have some fight left here.
11 laps to go here. Late model 75 lap feature. We've had about 6 or 7, 8 different lead changes, if I'm not mistaken, throughout the first 65 laps.
Now you gotta remember the 22 of Pincinel was the fastest in practice earlier today, so he's not lacking on speed at all.
The front four all by themselves. Pincinel, Steckley, Morneau, and Kennedy separated by about a quarter of a straightaway. Inside 10 laps to go for the 22 of Chase Pincinel. Back in the field, Connor Pritico all over Matt Robley. That's for fifth. They're a full straightaway behind the leaders. There you see the gap. The 22 of Pincinel, the 22S of Steckley. All four separated nicely now at the front of the field. You're right, that 22 of Pincinel, Darryl, looking very racy. Steckley can't bite into that lead.
Now Pritico's really trying to run here on the 51 car. He's 51 car knows how to make it wide. He's a smart driver, and he's got Steve Robley in his ear, so he's not a bad shoe to have talking your way through a 75 lap race like this.
Matt Robley, another second generation driver in the Robley family. They're just over a straightaway behind the lead four. 6 to go this time by. The leader will take the stripe right now.
The front four are all stretched out pretty good, so your closest battle on the track right now is the 51 and the 19 as he really tries to get by them.
There's Pritico now trying to get to the inside of Matt Robley. Forces Robley into the second group. Pritico will fight on the inside. Side by side for fifth. Into turn number 3, and the points leader will grab the spot. Pritico up to fifth.
Wow, another race of attrition. This has just been wild all night. Where is that full moon gone?
4 laps to go here for Chase Pincinel in the 22. Kyle Steckley in second. Ray Morneau holding on to third. Jesse Kennedy in fourth.
I'm just waiting for somebody to spin out and cause a late race caution just for a little more drama here.
Yeah, not like we have not had enough drama already in the late model.
It seems like we've been short on it this race.
Leaders now inside, 3 laps to go. Kennedy has reeled in Morneau for third. A half a straightaway behind the leaders.
So Pincinel just has to hit his marks and just pretend this is practice. He's not leading the race, he's just out here doing practice laps, and he's got nothing to worry about.
It'll be interesting to watch the 10 and the 22 of Steckley post race to see if there's any conversation between those two cars after the checker flag.
If we don't have any cameras down victory lane, we should certainly have some over in the tech booth, because this could get hot down there.
White flag on the speedway for the 22 of Chase Pincinel, half a mile to go. He grabbed the lead late in the 75-lap feature and trying to hold on through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn 4, double checkers in the air for the 22 of Pincinel.
Pincinel takes his first late model win. Man, that kid can drive. Wow.
Followed by Kyle Steckley, Ray Morneau Jr., Jesse Kennedy, and then Connor Pritical fights for a 5th spot. Followed by Shrek, Robley, Rawlings, Beauchamp Jr. back there.
Wow. I'm worn out, and we still have a 35-lap feature to go.
Yeah, the Super Stock still to come with their second of 2 features tonight.
First time in his career.
So the late models will go to Tech Garage. The 22 of Pincinel will come around to Victor Lane. We'll hear from Chase momentarily with Jordan Maudsley, as we have one eye on Victor Lane and one eye on Tech Garage, as the Kyle Steckley, Morneau, Kennedy, and Pritical are lined up to go in through Tech. There you see the 22 of Chase Pincinel as the Super Stocks are getting lined up on the pit road.
What a great win for such a young driver. He's really shown that he's got some veteran knowledge and drivability to that thing. He's, wow, I can't believe your first late model year to come out with a win like that against the big names like Steckley and Sheridan, and that it's not an easy feat, let me tell you.
Well, you said
they're doing it.
You said right off the top of the broadcast, Daryl, he had the fastest time in practice, and that paid dividends because he was the fastest car at the end of that 75-lap feature for sure.
Yep, they nailed the tire pressures just right, and they got the setup on her just right for all 75, and man, he's kept his nose out of trouble. Good run.
All right, let's send it to Victor Lane, to Jordan Maudsley.
Pincinel, I don't even think he's legal to drink. Soaked in beer down here in Victory Lane. He was too excited to take the helmet off in the car. Here he goes, Chase. How much does that one mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, we've had such fast cars every night. I've just never been able to put it together, and I was just patient all night, and things fell into place. It sucks that all those guys got wrecked throughout the race, but it is part of racing, and I'm happy to be here standing with you in Victory Lane.
You were running double duty earlier in the season. You decided to take a step back from the Super Stocks, just focus on the late model program. Do you think that had anything to do with your win tonight?
Oh, 100%. The consistency definitely helps with the win for sure.
Chase Pincinel down here in Pennzoil, Victory Lane in the 22.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank FCF, Windsor Light, Integrity, all my other sponsors. I don't get much time to thank them. We've just haven't been in positions like this yet this year, so I'm happy to be able to give them a nice shout out. They do a lot for us, and that man standing right there, my grandfather, my father standing in the back there, those people put in so much time and effort into my program, all my crew. I'm just so happy to be here and reward them finally. It's been long coming.
Chase Pincinel with an excellent run down here in the 22.
It takes a team. It takes a team, and they've got a good team behind him, and he's a smart driver, and he's as young as he is. He's not showing his age out there when they're turning laps. He's got the right line, the right car, and he's a good shoe.
Chase Pincinel, your late model 75-lap feature race winner. When we come back, feature race number 2 for the Super Stocks. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Hey folks, it's me, Giovanni Patini, the host of the RTV quiz show, the hottest show on television. It's the hilarious quiz show where you, the viewers, play for valuable non-existent prizes. It's got great trivia, fun facts, and a lot of laughs. all blended together in a perfect cocktail of edutainment. So join us Wednesdays at 7:30 right here on Rogers TV. Nice.
Welcome back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Orr's Darrell Lake topside. There you see the ceremonies continue for the late model 75 lap feature race winner Chase Pincinel. First feature race and a very stout 22 car he had, Darrell Lake.
Yeah, that thing was on rails. He drove a smart race. He saved the car where he needed to. He got through that big wreck there on the front straightaway and kept the nose clean, kept all the fenders and hood and everything on her, and there he is sitting in victory lane because of that.
We do have Joey Langdon near the tech garage. We were hearing unofficial reports of some altercation, whether verbal or light physical. We can't confirm any of that. Joey is there in case something goes down. He'll have that report for us as the remainder of the top 5 late models go through tech garage and the super stocks get lined up on the backstretch. When we come back, Super Stock feature race number 2, another 35 lapper. It's Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Yeah, it's a relatively even start to this one here. Both teams kind of just bouncing it around between each other's side. Swordbird is going to get another beautiful shot right into the back of that fan shot net there off a nice counterattack opportunity once again there. And they struggle when it seems as though they play teams that have the same mentality and the same game plan.
So you've got 1,000 people and you've never had homelessness. There's no shelter. There's no there's no counting. One of the communities we went to in the Northwest Territories, quite far north, that had 1,000 people. They had just built their first shelter, and they were saying they were still getting people coming in.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great night thus far. We're not done yet. Still feature race number 2 for the Super Stock division. The invert was a dice roll of 4. So the first feature race winner, Sean Chenoweth, will start 4th. That puts the cream at the top to start, Darrell Lake, with the Zardo Nagy, the points leader. Dewar tied for the points lead now. And Chenoweth, the top 4 in points, separated by just 8 points going to this race and starting in the top 4 positions.
So this is your chance to either make or break the rest of your season. So with all 4 of them starting nose to tail, door to door, this should be a heck of a race coming forward.
All right, let's. We got a report trackside from Joey.
Down here with Kyle Steckley. Kyle, in the tech garage, I saw Jesse Kennedy get in your window and talk to you. What was that about?
Yeah, I think he thought that I came down on him, but I'm pretty sure I held my line. I'm going to have to watch the replay, but that just really hurt our night. You know, we had a really fast car, and then after that damage, the car just wasn't quite the same. Still battled up to second. Just huge thanks to all my APC guys, Pennzoil. Wish we could have gotten to Pennzoil victory lane here tonight, but we'll be back, get it fixed up, and we got a fast piece, and we'll do it again.
So after tonight, you're going to come back to Delaware later on. I believe you're going to race this series one more time this year.
Correct, yep.
So what are you going to take from tonight? Obviously, 75 lap doesn't quite transfer over to the shorter races, but what are you going to take from tonight with the racers you're racing against at this track that you're going to take into the next race?
Yeah, I mean, we know we have a fast car. I think we can make a couple small adjustments and make it a little bit better, but just got to leave lots of room, you know. I thought we were friends, you know, no bad blood between us on the track before, but he was racing me pretty aggressive on those restarts, so we'll have to be cautious, and, you know, we're here to win, but more importantly, we don't want to wreck race cars, because that's no fun, and just got to be careful out there. There's some guys that are pretty rough out there, so we just got to take her easy and do our best to stay clean.
All right, the 10 is about to come through Tech Garage as well. Are you going to talk to him before you leave tonight?
I'm sure I'll talk to him more. I don't think we're too upset with each other. I mean, we both finished the race in the end. Obviously frustrating, but we'll move on and come back stronger.
All right, thank you very much. Good race tonight.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Joey and Kyle. Daryl, we saw the replay during that interview. Kyle said Jesse thought he might have come down on him. We'll see the replay again. Looks like Jesse maybe came up a little bit.
It certainly looks more like the 10 came up there from this vantage point. The head-on shot that we sometimes get might tell a little bit more of a story, but from this vantage point, it certainly looks like the 10 moved up.
So they had some conversation and maybe some more conversation coming, but thank you, Joy, for that interview. Oh, there's the front side here.
Yeah. 22 comes down after the contact, certainly. So it's, as a race car driver, you always want to blame somebody else. It's always somebody else's fault. And so certainly it, even on KG veterans like Jesse Kennedy, we all see it a different way, and we're stuck in our ways of thinking that's exactly how it happened. But unfortunately, it just ended up in a lot of carnage and a lot of torn up race cars that didn't need to be. So I hate seeing that because I know the pain of those.
Ryan Dyson, the 28, looks like he's not going to take the green flag. We thought he was getting in the cockpit of the 28 who's on pit road, but he's not going to get in it.
Noticeably missing also is the 7 car. Pete Vanderwish Jr. is not in this race as well. So he struggled with some issues that kept him from taking the green flag on this start as well.
Feature race number 2 for the Super Stocks getting set to go, and as mentioned, an invert of 4, putting the first feature race winner, Sean Chenoweth, into the 4th spot. There you see Jay Dewar, who tied the 93 ahead of him in points, Carson Nagy, after the first feature. So they're tied in points at the top of the standings going into this race. 3rd in the points, 7 points off the lead will be the pole car, the 36 of Zardo, Lane Zardo, and 8 points off the lead, knocking 10 off on his win, is the 89 of Chenoweth.
So what's interesting to me here is that as the leader, you do get lane choice on the initial start. And so I'm always interested to see which guys choose which side and why. So obviously Lane feels like he can get the car turning through 1 and 2 better than what the 93 can do on the outside, but man, that 93 pulls down on the outside so well.
Carson over the last month, he loves the outside lane. I would maybe force him to the inside.
Yeah, you might want to pinch him a little bit more rather than giving him what he excels at.
Lights off, the Delaware Speedway pace car getting set for 35 laps at the double points night for the Super Stocks. One of the calendar dates that race fans have marked here at Delaware Speedway in 2023. This one tonight. Zardo will bring him for 35 laps out of turn number 4. And the top 4 in points are the front 4 on the grid. Out of turn 4, the look for the green flag. They got it. We're racing with the Super Stocks. Zardo to the inside, Nagy on the outside. Then it's Dewar and Chenoweth, Hudson Nagy in 5th, McCullough in 6th. They'll drag race down the back.
So far, they're neck and neck. It's no right or wrong decision yet so far, but it looks like Carson's starting to edge ahead just a little bit through the middle of the corner.
And Jay Dewar looking for a mistake. Jay Dewar has gotten in front of Chenoweth for 3rd, and Jay Dewar in the 43 looking for a mistake from the front pair.
Side by side, going down the back straightaway, still just fighting neck and neck. Every inch matters here.
Still side by side. Zardo on the inside of Carson Nagy, the points leader on the outside. They'll come to the stripe. Nagy will lead that lap. So that's a point for Carson Nagy for leading a lap. You get a point for leading a lap. You get a point for leading the most. You get a point for leading at the end of the race as well.
What's wild here is that even as they're racing side by side, they're able to open a gap on corner exit every time. It's unbelievable. Look at that.
Dewar, Chenoweth, Hudson Nagy, your top 5, all right there. Culver's gotten past McCullough for 6th, and the leaders are still side by side.
Man, there's so much respect between those two. They're good friends, but they, again, just like the brothers, they want to race each other as hard as they possibly can so that after the race is said and done, they say, I didn't give you an inch, you earned every bit of it.
It looks like a V8 stock race here with the 21.1 breakout time, but there's no breakout time here for the Super Stocks. The leaders are actually pulling away a little bit on the straightaway on side by side. Now Nagy with an advantage on a turn 4. Zardo fights back on the inside.
Oh, 93 got real loose up at a 4. He opened the door back up for the 93 to try to get in there, but Dewar's sitting there waiting, just hoping that one of them makes a big enough mistake he can capitalize on them both.
Zardo by a nose down the back into turn 3. Jay Dewar in the 43 right there, so is Chenoweth in the 89. And they're still side by side. 6 laps into this race. Nagy continues to fight on the outside, Daryl, 6 laps in.
Man, this is what I love about the Super Stocks. Like the fact that you can go out there and race side by side this hard for the lead and no contact whatsoever, and they're still racing for the lead.
Nagy will try and get down. No, he can't. Zardo will fight back on the inside. That's the biggest advantage Nagy had last time by. Now he'll stretch his legs.
He'll clear him out of 4 here if he didn't just clear him there. Yeah, he's got him clear there now, so now he's going to start stretching his legs as much as he can because he sees that blue car and the black and yellow car behind him, and they both want this just as bad as he does.
The front 6 have gotten away from the rest of the field. Culver in 5th, McCullough in 6th. It's a 6-pack at the front of this field. Sorry, my apologies, 7. McCullough's in 7th spot, 7 at the front.
Starting to single file out here now. They got 27 laps left or 26 laps left on the board. We'll see if one of them can start to mount something or if they're just going to settle in and take off a few laps until they mount the next charge.
Next time by, 10 laps complete, 25 to go. Super Stock feature race number 2 tonight from the half mile in Delaware.
Rickwood and the 07 side by side down the front straight, entering into turn 1.
That's a battle for 8th, and looks like Rickwood will take that spot from Ramsey. The front 7 alone at the front of this field. Nagy leading the train. Nagy, Zardo, Dewar, Chenoweth, Hudson, Nagy, Culver, and McCullough, your front 7. Hudson, Nagy looking to the inside of Chenoweth for 4th position to no avail. 23 to go. Now the front 3 trying to get away from the 4th place Chenoweth machine, which is a surprise because the 89 looked so strong in the first feature. It's Nagy. Go ahead, Daryl.
So it looks like the one car after his issues there in the heat race and in the first race, he's got whatever they were battling fixed up because he's able to hold position with that front pack pretty well here. So good to see him get fixed up and be able to give a fight here for the top 5.
Yeah, Watts just ahead of Culver. There's the battle ahead of Culver. 36 of Hudson Nagy. The 89 is Chenoweth. Chenoweth, the first feature race winner tonight.
The only side-by-side action on the track right now, so let's keep our eyes on that and see how this plays out.
That is a battle for 4th. Culver right there, and behind Culver, right on his rear decklet, is the 39 of McCullough. There you see the red nose of David McCullough.
You really wonder how the car can be such a bullet in that first race, and then I'm sure they didn't make as little changes as possible, and here it is, just the track cooling down so much, it tightened up more, and now he's struggling with the handling on it as opposed to being as fast as he was in that first session.
And as a result of that battle, they've lost the leaders by almost a full straightaway as the front 3 have gotten away from that battle for 4th.
Yeah, looks like Chenoweth must be fighting a little bit of a push here because he's opening the door, the center of the corner here, and letting Culver get in the door here now.
Yeah, Culver in the 1, the 38 is McCullough, David McCullough. My apologies, the 39 of David McCullough battling there with the Culver and Chenoweth. Nagy's got about a 9-car length lead on Zardo. Zardo 2 car lengths in front of Jay Dewar at the front of the field for 2nd.
Pretty wild that these cars have a 6-inch ride height. You have to be at least 6 inches on your frame from the ground before the driver gets in the car. And as you watch the 93 car enter turn 3, you can see a spark come out of it every once in a while. So something on that car is bottoming out from 6 inches above the ground to bottoming out on corner entry. That's just bonkers.
Wow, that's great insight from Darrell Lake, who will be joining the Super Stock division in 2024. So to speak, maybe getting a little scouting report tonight from Darrell Lake, the 77 team. As Nagy will come around and complete another lap, 15 to go.
15 to go, and Carson's just stretching his legs. It doesn't look like the other guys have anything for him, but if we've learned anything from the earlier part of this night, it's that the only thing that stays consistent is change. So we'll see if something comes up where this race might take a change of course.
Hudson Nagy in that 36 has left that battle with Chenoweth and Culver and trying to track down the lead 3 the 33. There's the gap, the leaders. Nagy, Zardo, and Durer, that's your top three in points. But the 43 is tied with the 93. The 36 is 7 points off the lead.
Now the 93 will have clinched the most laps led point here as well. So that's going to be enough for him to take the lead back, but certainly not by much. This season's got a lot of racing left to do.
12 and a half laps to go here at the Delaware half mile. Feature race number 2 for the Super Stocks after a twin feature double point night. And Carson Nagy, the points leader, at the point. It's Nagy, Zardo, and Durer at the front. There's the gap between Nagy and Zardo on your screen right now. Zardo trying to be tracked down by Durer. You'll see the 43 in your shot right there.
So you can see what Lane just did through 3 and 4. Carson kind of runs with his 2 wheels on the old outside line, where it's kind of 2 wheels on the different line and the lower wheels on the flatter part of the track. Well, Lane just kind of cut across that and tried to make a shorter corner to try and make up some time. Doesn't look like it's helped him, but he's just trying anything he can right now to try and make up some position if he can.
Is a half-mile track too short of a distance to try and diamond the corner?
I used to find a lot of speed in these cars by diamonding the corner, so you overdrive the entry and kind of go up in the middle and then come back down off the corner. I don't think it's that way anymore. They're not set up that way, but certainly it used to be an option.
Everything's still status quo. The field pretty separated from front to back, except for that battle for second. That's the closest battle of about 4 car lengths. Zardo and Durer. Everybody else pretty separated here with 8 to go this time by. It's Carson Nagy, the points leader, at the front. Coming into this feature, tied in points with the 43 of Jay Durer, who runs third. But Carson got a point already for leading 1 lap. And as Darrell mentioned, will clinch his second point for leading the most laps.
And I see a car slow down the back straightaway there, so we'll see if that affects the race at all or whether he can carry on. But I know that 4 car has been having some issues here tonight, so we'll see if this could maybe be the caution that we're looking for to bring out a little drama in this race.
Every position on the track worth a point as well, plus you get a point for winning the race. And they're into a back marker traffic in the 4 of Lonnie Thompson. Then the 14 of Cody Wiles will be the next car that Carson Nagy has to deal with. There's the battle for second. Zardo in the 36, Durer in the 43.
43 car caught the 4 car at a really bad spot right there. It's as you're trying to accelerate, and when you got a car and you're inside in the line that you want to be in, it just costs you time. You can see it. It opened up a good 4 extra car lengths on him.
There's the 4 of Thompson. He was kind of off the pace, but he looks like he's picked up the speed a little bit. But the entire field separated. No real battle on the track now with 3.5 to go. As the leader goes into turn number 3. It's Carson Nagy, the points leader, at the front of this field. We'll go to the high side of the 14 of Cody Wiles.
This lap traffic doesn't seem to want to go down a lap here. He dove her into 1 pretty hard there. So if I was Carson, I'd be a little annoyed by that. Should be easing off and letting me go right on by. It's not your night, it's not your night.
No, we'll go to the high side of the 14. The 14 battling on the inside. Carson won't be happy with that, as you mentioned, Darrell. 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air for the Super Stock feature race number 2 here at Delaware Speedway. The final feature of the night on what's been a very good night. Drama-filled night as well. White flag for the 93.
White flag up, here we go. Carson Nagy just got to hit his marks and take it easy, and he'll bring her on home into victory lane and maintain that championship points lead yet again.
Quarter mile left to go for the 93 of Carson Nagy. He'll extend his points lead just by a few points now. He'll finish 2 spots ahead of Durer. Out of turn number 4, double checkers in the air for the 93 of Carson Nagy. Zardo will come home second, followed by the 43 of Durer. The 36 of Hudson Nagy. Chenoweth will finish 5th, followed by Culver, McCullough, Rickwood, Ramsey, Mesenberg, Ethan Orr, and then Thompson in the 4. And that'll be your finishing order. So Chenoweth goes first and fifth in the doubles. I think Nagy was second and first.
Second and first.
Second in the first feature. So second and first for the points leader, Carson Nagy.
No, third. Third, I think.
It was
Dewar
third,
beat
okay.
him, right? Dewar got second
that's right.
in the first one.
You were right.
Yeah, he, so all in all, a pretty good night.
Yeah, absolutely. Carson retains the points lead by a few points now, unofficially. As mentioned, he got a point for leading the lap, point for leading the most, and a point for winning the race. Plus, he finished 2 positions ahead of Dewar, so that's another 2 points. So he got a good, at least 5-point nudge on Dewar for the points lead after feature race number 2, and we'll send it trackside momentarily. We heard from Carson earlier with our very own Joey Langdon. Now we'll hear Carson at victory lane with Jordan Maudsley, and what's been a fantastic night here at Delaware Speedway. Again, one of the dates that were marked off by race fans in the area for the double super stock feature and the 75-lap late model feature coming to a close here with the final super stock feature race of the night. Don't forget DelawareSpeedway.com for all your ticket information. Still some great dates coming, including next week. We'll have a King of the Hill spectators race here at Delaware Speedway, and we'll be on the air with you next Friday at 7:30, including the late models and the bone stock 50-lapper next week, which will be fantastic. So we're going to send it down trackside as Carson gets out of the 93. We'll send it to Jordan Maudsley.
Nagy, you and Zardo were close there, and then you pulled away and just ran away with it. Give me your thoughts.
Man, Lane Zardo is a badass race car driver, probably one of the nicest guys to race with. Same goes for Chenoweth, Dewar, Culver. Every single person here is so fast and so competitive, and just happy to be here.
You had a little mix-up with Hudson in the first race. How much fun has it been racing out here with your brother?
Not too fun. It's kind of a you-know-what, but it's a part of it, you know. It's fun having him back out here in the super stock, though.
I know a lot of people make this car go fast every week. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank HumberviewParts.ca, Fielding Estate Winery, the Fireplace and Patio Shop, Pure Energy Performance, Northern Performance, RPM Racewear, and all of you guys for coming out tonight. Hopefully everyone in the JR tent over there had a great night.
Carson Nagy parks it down here in Pennzoil Victory Lane.
Once again, another win here in the
Carson Nagy, your super stock feature race number 2 winner. We'll wrap things up on the other side of the break. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV.
Being stuck in your home during this pandemic also means you have a home. Waiting in line for groceries means you have money for groceries. The isolation, being broke and totally scared about what's next. I was feeling that before this crisis. People say we're in this together, but me, I've got no one.
Youth who have aged out of the child welfare system are in danger of falling further through the cracks because of today's crisis. They need your support. Please give today at helpyouthnow.ca.
Hi, I'm Dan Naylor. I'm the host of London Lights, the show where we talk about notable Londoners who have made a big mark, big impact on the world of music, entertainment, sports, politics. Today our guest is Jonathan Hollow, Yuri Poole of the McCartney years, the one and only Jim Chapman, Peter Brennan of Jeans and Classics fame. London Lights, Thursday at 8:30.
Welcome back. Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Chris Orrs at Darrell Lake, closing off a fantastic night. Let's set it trackside to hear from Joey. Joey, great night tonight.
Yeah, dramatic night as well. Carson Nagy did absolutely everything he needed to do. He had 2 things working to his advantage tonight in the championship chase. Sean Chenoweth announced that he is going to miss the rest of the season because he's focusing on Flamborough. And, cheeky, Hudson Nagy took a really fast car out onto the track today and picked up some points that he doesn't need, but Carson needs other people not to get. So smart move by the Nagy team, even if they say that that wasn't their intention, and I do believe them, but handy for them anyway. In the super stocks, you saw all that. It was a really chaotic night, but the late models, the 75-lapper, I've never seen the late models race that chaotically. Kyle Steckley and Jesse Kennedy, 2 who were really close on the track before, who have been really close all season on the track. Maybe a budding rivalry. We'll see them later this year, but Jesse Kennedy's still in a fierce points battle in the late models. The late models are going to come down right to the wire as we saw the standings. This is the part of the year. It's starting to get a little cooler on the track. I'm wearing a sweater. That means we're going to start paying a lot of attention to the championship and Rookie of the Year chases. And tonight was the turning point. Tonight was the keystone to building a championship season. Twin features for the Supers. That means you look around at guys like Ryan Dyson and Pete Vanderwist Jr., who missed one of those races. That's missing a whole week. You threw up a 0 where other people might have put up a 40. You look at a guy like Ethan Orr, who has been in the bottom of the Rookie of the Year chase all season, but now suddenly threw out a 2nd and a 6th, I believe. Sorry, a 2nd and an 8th. 2nd in the heat race, 8th in the feature, and then 8th in the other feature. Big points, and now he's making big moves up the standings. This is the keystone. This is the cornerstone. This is where championship dreams go to die or go to live. Thank you so much for watching. Rogers TV, I'm Joey Langdon, back upstairs.
All right, Joey, thank you so much. A fantastic job by Joey Langdon, as always, down at trackside. Of course, I'm not quite sure if Joey mentioned it, but congratulations to Chase Pinsnow, his first feature race win in the late model, that 75-lapper. Give me your thoughts on tonight.
That was chaotic. I think Joey mentioned that. It was chaos. That as much as I don't like being out of the seat of the race car, and I'd much rather be behind the wheel driving, that might be one race I'm happy I wasn't involved in.
Let's look at some results here from tonight, as we'll start with Superstock feature race number 1. Sean Chenoweth, who has announced that he'll be finishing his season at his home track in Flamborough. Jay Dewar, Carson Nagy running out the top 3. That put Dewar and Nagy in a tie at the top of the points going to feature race number 2. Zardo, Nagy, top 5, McCullough, Culver, Rickwood, Ramsey, and Mesenberg, your top 10. Then we went to the late model 75-lapper, and that went to the 22P of Chase Pinsnow, his first feature race win in a very stout 22P car. Kyle Steckley involved with that Jesse Kennedy and multi-car collision, fought back for 2nd spot. Ray Morneau rounding out the podium, and Kennedy fought back for 4th. Connor Pritico, the points leader, a healthy points lead, over 30 points coming in tonight. He was okay there. Super Stock feature race number 2, you just saw it. Carson Nagy, the points leader, edging out Zardo and Dewar for the top 3. Nagy, Chenoweth, Culver, McCullough, Rickwood, Ramsey, Mesenberg. So Carson Nagy back on top of the points by probably about 5 or 6 unofficially. After the double feature, double points night. And Darrell Lake, thank you so much for joining us. We talked with Darrell earlier tonight. He's parked the late model for the rest of the 2023 season, but announced tonight going to Superstock Division 2024. And if people want to jump on board with Lake Motorsports, or is that what you call it?
Lake Racing's the sign over the shop door.
How do people get involved and want to jump on board for your 2024 Superstock campaign?
You can always reach out to me on Facebook or on Instagram, or it's Lake D77 is the best way to look me up. And otherwise, you can give us a call at work at London Drive Systems, and I'm one of the ones that answers the phone there. So we can always put something together that way. But certainly looking forward to the 2024 season. That looked like a lot of fun out there, and I can't wait to rub fenders and rub tires out there with the best of them.
Thanks for this. Appreciate you being up there. You never know, you might be back up with us before the 2023 season wraps up. Join us next week, 7:30 on the air. Late models return. Bone Stock 50-lap feature, and the King of the Hill for all of us here and all of our volunteers and everybody in the truck who do a fantastic job. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Delaware Speedway Racing on Rogers TV and Rev TV. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Disclose because they're parents and they're worried about what might happen to their children and those sort of things. This is something that most people wouldn't look at, because most people with disabilities have a really serious dependency on what the system is providing. And
and if you look at systemic barriers, there's things like if you hand out pamphlets and somebody's visually challenged, how does that work? Are they offered in different formats?
Yeah.
Or if someone is deaf, it's really difficult because currently there are no formalized substance use screeners for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. So it's really hard to obtain where they're at in their addiction because of those communication barriers.
Yeah, so they would need to find translators or find people to be able to participate. So then you're not just having to walk one person through the process, you're having to walk the translator and or the support worker.
And even with the sign language interpreter, there are difficulties because things like terms such as hangover or blackout don't have specific signs. So that can be a lot of confusion and frustration for people when they're trying to obtain treatment.
So a jargon or slang words or technical terms don't translate.
Not always.
Yeah, okay, I could see that where that would be extremely difficult. In my work, I do it every day and I talk about it in those words. I think I say the word blackout every day.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. And I mean, for someone who's decided to take the courageous step and go for help, and then they're met with those kinds of barriers, you can imagine how that would impact them.
Oh yeah, I mean because there's usually emotional barriers. The previous person on the show was talking about the feeling of abandonment or feeling like being left out and not being inclusive, and being able to say, you know what, if I'm already suffering from not feeling included or not being able to be participating, and then when I seek help and I find more barriers, wow, does that ever feel like a punch in the gut, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about someone who has a physical disability and they're wanting to go into residential treatment, well, the first thing that comes to mind is, do they have access to personal support workers to help them with their daily needs, such as bathing, showering, dressing? Oftentimes not.
Right.
And that's been shown in my research too, that very limited resources are available in those areas.
Yeah. So what are there any suggestions or ideas or what people might be able to do in that regard to find personal support? Because we already know that there's huge barriers to residential care because of cost, because of time, because of whatever. That's just for an individual. Trying to factor in the cost of another person participating is a big barrier. Are there any things on the horizon or anything that you see that's helping with that?
I think what's starting to happen is a lot of cross-training and education among people in the disability and addiction fields.
Yeah.
So they're no longer working in silos. So we have more cross-training with people from both the addiction and disability fields, which helps because they can work together to sort of break down the barriers and explain sort of what's needed on both sides.
Right. Yeah, I see the value in that too, and we're also in a place right now where there's so many areas that a professional can learn and grow in, and a lot of companies. I've worked for some in the past. We're coming up with training dollars, or being able to get people into those places is even more difficult. So you're like, hey, we want to, because the professionals I know, they want all the skills, they want to know all the stuff, but then it's like, who's paying for this extra training?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that can be difficult. But what's great is there's now research coming out that shows the value of cross-training in education, which hopefully that can be justified in terms of funding when people are trying to access funding.
That would be wonderful. I want a piece of that for sure.
And that was a big issue in a lot of my research.
Okay.
When we talk about resources, is the funding and the fact that people just don't have it to provide whatever it may be, sign language interpreter, personal support workers.
Right.
That was a big issue.
Has your research shown any change in that over time? Because I would guess that 20 years ago it would be even worse, right? Are we moving in the right direction? Is what I want to know.
We are moving in the right direction. So it's showing actually that more people are talking about this issue, and that the fact is that people with disabilities are the largest minority group in the world, yet their treatment participation is lower, and we see that rates of addiction among this group are 50% or higher than in the general population. So people now are starting to talk about that.
Wow, 50%.
Yeah.
That's a statistic I didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's certainly a need in there, and then when you're looking at the largest demographic.
Absolutely.
Wow, I can't wait for your book to come out. I ordered a copy, an advanced copy this week for it to come. And I'm sure that I have lots of learning to do, always learning and growing in that as well. So if you were to give some advice to professionals or people who work in the field, even people in the 12-step world, right?
Yeah.
If we were going to give them some advice, what would that look like for saying, how are you going to, contribute, or how can you make this easier? What can we do?
So the first thing I would say is, at the very beginning, just listen. Just listen. And if you don't know, if you don't have the answer, that's okay. It's better to say you don't have the answer, because lots of times people with disabilities are used to working around barriers. And so we have a lot of the answers already. We just need a vehicle to get where we need to go.
Right. So just listening and then being able to ask the questions and being able to just inquire in a healthy way.
Right.
I think I can note seeing people sometimes struggling with being able to ask people questions around their disabilities because they feel awkward or uncomfortable, or they may ask the wrong question or use a politically incorrect term or those sort of things.
Yeah.
So how would one work towards being able to, or is there anything that you can think of that you could suggest would make it easier to ask those questions, or anything to avoid?
Yeah, I would just say, just put the person you're working with, as you always do, in the driver's seat. And if you have any questions that come up, just ask.
Right.
We're used to all types of questions.
Right.
So we're no stranger to any questions that you might have.
There's something that I hear in the field, and they say, treat the person like they're the expert of their own life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because people with disabilities, I use we because I have a physical disability as well. And so we've had to navigate so many barriers that we have become experts. And lots of times we just need someone alongside us to direct us and point us the right way.
Of course. If you can give one quick word of advice to a person with disabilities suffering with substance use, what advice would it be?
Don't be afraid to ask for help, as people are always willing to help you. Just don't be afraid.
I love it. Krista, who was a previous guest, said the exact same thing. So I like that you two are in sync, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show. Melissa, I look forward to reading your chapter in the book. I read the previous versions of it, and I love it, so I can't wait to see your version of it. Thank you again for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Okay. We'll be right back after this break.
I did it.
I need it.
The hero gave it.
And I am alive.
As an organ donor, you can save up to 8 lives and enhance the lives of 75 others. Please go to our website. Pledge a gift of life. You'll be glad you did.
To be invisible is part of addiction, even more so part of physical disabilities. As we heard today on the show, we had people looking at all the barriers that they have to access, to get out of the house, to participate. And those barriers also contribute to emotional, physical, attitudinal. There's all of these things that get in the way. And we heard it twice at the end of each segment to reach out for help. So now you're going to hear it for a third time. When it comes to addiction, reaching out for help is the most important thing. If you're suffering from a physical disability or some barriers that are in your way that are preventing you from getting care, please reach out for help. And thank you for watching Invisible, Breaking Through the Stigma of Addiction.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media. You're watching Rogers TV, London.
Episode of LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. I am your host, Brona Morgan, and as always, it's a pleasure to host a show where I get to talk to Londoners who are doing everything they can to support people in our community, highlighting great organizations which are doing great work in our community, and here is just another example. My guest today is Jennifer Martino. Jennifer is the Executive Director of the Crouch Neighborhood Resource Center, which is located in the Crouch Branch Library, London Public Library, which is in the heart of Hamilton Road, right across the street from one of my favorite places to work, because you know I work a lot of places, but one of my favorite, well, I guess they're all my favorite, is the Hamilton Road Seniors and Community Center, where I teach art. So love this whole part of the city, fantastic, vibrant community. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and right in the neighborhood.
Right, I know. So here we are, talking about things that people in London are talking about, because that's what this show is all about. That's why it's called LDN ONT TV. We just had a lot of elections recently, and hopefully that's the last one for a while. It's our municipal election. What everybody has been talking about, top of mind, is a lot of pretty serious social issues right now. We're dealing with the fact that there are a lot of people who can't afford homes. There just is a lack of affordable housing all over our community in particular and across the country. Food insecurity is another one. A lot of these issues came up, I know, when I was hosting debates or when we were talking on election night. So these are issues, obviously, that so important to the entire city, but particularly the community that is served. So talk to me about the resource center and what you're seeing.
Yeah. Food insecurity isn't new to our community. We've had people struggling with getting access not just to any foods, but to nutritious foods and culturally appropriate foods for a very long time, especially in the Hamilton Road neighborhood, where the average income level is 27% lower than the city as a whole. I'm not sure how familiar people are with those statistics, but and I myself, as a young person who grew up in the subsidized housing system, London public housing, I'm in the Bully complex actually, and my family visited the food bank regularly. So food insecurity is something that I've known my whole life, and it's an issue that I'm really passionate about for that reason. And we found that people were using the community food cupboard at Crouch frequently before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, it just exacerbated those pre-existing food insecurity issues. And I think something that was unique from the pandemic was that it brought food insecurity to the minds of all people in our country, because suddenly we were all a little bit insecure. You couldn't just walk into any grocery store you want and buy whatever you want. But if you think about the people who couldn't use Instant Cart, who couldn't do curbside pickup, who didn't have the money to be going to take a car to a grocery store and to wait in those long lines and to pay off some of the higher prices that we were seeing, then they were really relying on the food supports that the community could provide. And our community did a great job of coming together, of partnering, of addressing those needs. And Crouch started a kind of a porch drop-off program with hampers on a weekly basis. And at one point we were serving over 200 homes with Glencairn Community Resource Center and Youth for Christ helped us out as well. And now, to some extent, we talk about being back to normal and that we're trying to emerge from this pandemic. But what we're finding at the Resource Center is that we're actually seeing an ever-increasing number of people looking for food supports. And I know the London Food Bank has recently reported the same thing. We're serving over 200 people every single week. And they have multiple needs. Food security is one, but also things like winter wear, and then just help accessing social benefits. There are different programs coming out with the government all the time, but if you don't file your taxes, then you aren't eligible for any of those things. So we've found that unfortunately the need for the basic needs services and the advocacy and things like applications, but really just getting through the day-to-day is what we've had to focus on now more than ever.
Absolutely. So it sounds like there are a lot of different aspects to what the Resource Center offers. So you talked about is it the food cupboard?
Yes, we have a community food cupboard.
All right. On top of that, you're offering, so potentially people can come in and find winter clothing and help with filling out paperwork maybe, or?
Yes, so if they want to apply for something like the Ontario Disability Support Program, apply for Ontario Works, or even if they're having any trouble with their housing situation, maybe they need some advocacy with their landlord or they're facing an eviction. There are various things that our community outreach worker can assist with. But something that I'm really proud of is our free income tax filing program. And last year we helped over 10,000 people file their income taxes, many of whom had years of backlog of taxes. And it can be very intimidating. If you're not sure if you're going to owe, often you don't file, but what some people don't realize is that it also means that you're ineligible for all of the benefits that are available for all of us, but especially people who have lower incomes in our community. And that is a program run by volunteers who are all registered. They're chartered accountants, but they've since retired, and they're registered with the CRA. And so they, last year through Crouch, were able to serve, I think it was 10,500 people getting their income tax filed. And I wish that we could quantify the benefits that go to those people as a result. But I know that a lot of people left really relieved that they had that support and that they were able to get things like their guaranteed income supplement if they were a senior, because that kind of thing makes a huge difference to your survival on a month-to-month basis.
Absolutely. So let's say I am maybe a retired person that would like to volunteer. Do these volunteers come in through CRA, or how does somebody reach out to want to support the work that you're doing?
Yes, there is a coordinator of the program, and she was the treasurer of Crouch for 6 years until her term was done. Her name is Diane McMillan, and she is the best person to get in contact with. But if people would like to volunteer, they can do so by going to the CRA website, and if they just look up Free Income Tax Clinic, then they will find her name and her contact information. And she is looking for qualified volunteers. It's a lot of work to process that many applications, and so having committed people who have even just a little bit of financial knowledge, even if that wasn't their full-time thing, who would like to help people. I mean, I can't imagine a volunteer role that can have a greater impact than that one.
Absolutely. And it's not tax time right now, but this is something that happens on an ongoing basis?
Yes, we can help people all year filing their income taxes, but there is especially a need for volunteers at tax time, of course.
Absolutely. And then other ways that we can support as community members. Where's the source of food for the food cupboard?
Well, we have, depends. So we do have to purchase food to fill our cupboard. There are some items that are very popular, the things that people need that are just the staples. So they're the kind of things that you would think of, like tuna, for example. And then sometimes we get grants that allow us to do additional things, such as provide dairy and protein. So Libro just gave us a $10,000 grant to be able to provide those things through our cupboard. And that's something that we just can't afford to do if we don't have that additional support. But then we also have partnerships with groups like Urban Roots, who, when their produce is in season, they bring fresh produce to us every single week. It doesn't cost us anything, and we're able to get it out to the community. And in this last year, United Way funded us to be able to offer a pop-up market every week so that people get access to fresh produce. And then we also work with the London Food Coalition to pick up things from places like Costco that they're not able to sell anymore, but they want to make sure go into the community. So it really does take a community effort and as many different sources as we can find. And we also have a partnership with the London Food Bank, and they often call and say, we have a whole skid of this, and we know it's something that you guys use often. Would you like it? And we always say yes. And I think what's really important, though, is keeping in mind that people who can't afford to buy their own groceries still need certain sorts of foods. And so there is kind of an idea that when people are food insecure, we go into our cupboards and whatever we're not eating, that's what we're going to donate. And I think that's really well intentioned. But if you think about people who are living in boarding houses, who are experiencing homelessness, food preparation can be very difficult, and that's why we focus on things that are easy to eat without a lot of preparation. And then also we need to think about not just food security, but also nutrition equity, because eating one thing is not the same as eating another. And it's amazing, most of the requests that we get are for fresh fruits and vegetables, not the kind of the snack foods that we sometimes think of. And so that's why we are very careful to make sure that what we're offering people will not just fill them, but also let them feel better because they physically feel well, but also they know that somebody really cares about their nutritional needs, their cultural needs, and cares about them as a person, because we all want to eat well.
Absolutely. Oh, and like it's coming across that you're somebody who cares. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more, but I do have to take a break. But you're going to stay with us for another segment, because I want to hear more. And I also want to hear more about how those of us in the community can maybe support the great work that you're doing with the Crouch Neighborhood Resource Center in the Hamilton Road community. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with more LDN ONT TV.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
About 16% of the people we talked to actually became homeless during the pandemic. And it's a horrible thing to be.
I've been volunteering about a little over a year now with Rogers. I decided to volunteer at Rogers TV because I wanted to get a better feel for what the industry was like and meet great people at the same time. I have learned the ins and outs of studio and mobile productions with various roles from cameras all the way up to audio, graphics, and replay. You will not regret a minute that you have spent with Rogers TV. The people that you will meet and the experiences that you will make, you will never forget. Being a volunteer with Rogers TV allows you to connect with the community even more than you have before. Rogers is a very special place here in southwestern Ontario, with experiences like no other that you cannot find anywhere else.
You're watching Rogers TV, London.
Welcome back to LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Brona. I've been speaking with Jennifer from Crouch Neighborhood Resource Center, located in the Crouch Library, which is located on Hamilton Road, which, as Jennifer was mentioning, is a neighborhood where there's a lot of need. And so we've talked about the need for healthy food and how it should be specific, it should be healthy food, it should be, appropriate for the individual. And that's, I think, it's a question not only of just keeping people healthy, but it's dignity as well. It's respecting the person as an individual and the families as individual families, because every family will have different kinds of needs. But there's also need for clothing and need for financial support, I think, for the work you do as well. So talk to me about other ways that the community can come together and support the work that you're doing.
Yeah. What we find at this time of year is that there is a huge need to keep people warm. And it's not just people experiencing homelessness. There are also people whose housing situations mean that it's not a great place for them to be all day long. And they spend a lot of time, different community spaces, they spend a lot of time outside. And that's especially true in the Hamilton Road neighborhood, where there are a lot of boarding houses and people just renting individual rooms. But all of us need to be warm. It just started snowing and we're all feeling that initial chill. And, most of us are fortunate to have a winter jacket in our closet from past seasons, but that's not the case for all of the community members. And so we started our winter wear program this year, just a few weeks ago. We've already served 110 people with winter coats and boots, and we have run out of funding for that program. We have 50 people on the wait list so far, and we've actually closed off the wait list at this point until we're able to secure funding. But it would be really great to have the community help us support community members who really need our help the most. And last year when we did our winter coat and boot campaign, we found that community members kept coming back in to say, hey, do you recognize this coat? Do you recognize these boots? You guys gave me this and it still looks good and I get compliments on it. And when we think back to that dignity piece, it can be difficult for everyone in our community right now to make a dollar stretch, and I'm very, very well aware of that regardless of our circumstances. But there's something really beautiful about giving someone a new coat, new pair of boots that actually fit them properly and that they can be proud of when they're walking around, and most importantly, that keep them warm and dry. Because we need to be fed, but if we're cold, it's really, really hard to get through the winter.
Oh yeah, yeah, that can make you, well, it's not just grumpy, like that can be fatal. Like this is one of we live in Canada, so yeah, these are vital needs. So new coats, new boots. How about financial donations?
Yes, so we have a campaign coming up very shortly called our Warm Winter Wishes campaign, and so we will be asking people to support us, especially on Giving Tuesday. This will be our first ever Giving Tuesday campaign that people can look out for.
And Giving Tuesday is?
It is a day that lots of different organizations will be promoting the work that they do and asking community members to support them. It comes up on the 29th of November. And so we'll have things out on our different social media sources about how to support that way. But throughout this whole month, we would love for people to extend a warm winter wish to a community member. We have various ways of doing that. So one of them is to be able to sponsor a community member to have a warm pair of mitts, or also to have a pair of boots, or to have a coat. And so we'll have different options that you can select through our website. But the other thing is that on December 10th, we're having a community-wide kind of celebration of all of the great things about the Hamilton Road community, because often we focus on the need, but there is such a strong community there. And you know that because you're in our community.
Absolutely.
And this summer we had a block party where 800 people came out to spend time with their neighbors, and I know we saw
incredible. Like, it was one of the first really big events that I have been to, in the last couple of years. And the way the community came together, so vibrant, so friendly, and so many things going on. So many different businesses were involved, so much music, so much I don't know, joy. Like, it's just such a wonderful part of London to be involved with.
Yes, and we actually did a survey of community members at that block party, and we asked them how they feel about their neighborhood. And one of the things they said was that it's a neighborhood where they feel that they belong and they don't want to live anywhere else. And that might be counterintuitive for some, but if you think about the fact that there are resources there, your community's there, people who support each other are there. And so on December 10th, we will have various holiday window murals throughout various businesses in Hamilton Road. We're looking at 10 different sites, and where will be a surprise. We'll be releasing those one at a time. So we want people to also get to know the small businesses. There are 144 independent businesses on that strip in our community, so it's super unique. Wonderful people who own those businesses. And then also in front of the Crouch Library, we will be offering free holiday family photos to community members, because that's something that really, especially with our economic situation right now, is a privilege for anyone to be able to do. But we know that a lot of families in our neighborhood wouldn't be able to get those done otherwise. And so somebody from the neighborhood who is a professional photographer will be coming and taking those photos for families. And so we would like people to extend warm winter wishes by making a note on a pair of red mittens that you'll be able to put throughout the library, and just let people in the community know what you love about our community, or just tell them that you hope that things go well for them this season. And if you have the ability to do something financially beyond extending those warm wishes, then I would really encourage people to either go to our website, which is crouchnrc.org, or they can look for us on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter. And throughout the month, we'll be giving lots of opportunities to get things to people that they really need, such as that warm winter wear. And then also we have things like our Christmas hampers and various ways that we keep people warm and well.
How do you accomplish so, it sounds like a huge job. So what does a day look like for you, Jennifer? My goodness.
Oh boy. Yes. Well, it is a big job, but what I love about our neighborhood resource center is that neighborhoods need all kinds of things, because people are complex, neighborhoods are complex, and I love community building, but having been in need myself and with my family for basic needs, I also really understand that people need things like food and like clothing and like shelter, of course, to be well, but they also need art and culture. They need recreation. They need opportunities to get together and to be inspired, and also to share what their unique talents are. In the summer, we had, with the London Art Council, live music every single week at our hot meal program, and people would stop by who we've known for years coming to our hot meal, but they'd say, "Did you know that I'm a songwriter? I've always wanted to learn the guitar. Did you know that I sing?" And the feedback that we got about incorporating music with a basic needs activity was phenomenal, and it's something that we're really committed to continuing.
Fantastic. So I can't wait to see what's next. I'm excited to be involved because I'm doing art with seniors right across the street at Hamilton Road every Tuesday, every Wednesday morning, just being back in that community. So many diverse businesses, so many fascinating people, and I hear the same thing from my students all the time. I would never want to go anywhere else. So viewers, if you're not a part of the Hamilton Road community, you've got to get down and participate, because it's welcoming too, right? So I can come from High Park.
Oh, of course. Yes, everybody's welcome at our events. And I forgot to mention that on December 10th, we're not just taking family photos, but we also have live music. We will have different performers singing holiday songs, and there may be a few surprises throughout the neighborhood as well. So we would encourage anyone who would like to come down and maybe just learn about a new neighborhood. And especially if you're hungry, coming to Hamilton Road and going to a restaurant like Casa Cubana. Where else are you going to get authentic Cuban food like that? Hamilton Road is the place to be. So come and check it out, and you might discover something that really surprises you and keeps you coming back.
Well, I'm excited. So viewers,
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
That he fell. Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Beer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
You can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
Yeah, I need a ride.
And this one will escape the Niagara end. We have a counterattack the other way. Ooh, that's a pass right in front and a goal.
Wow.
And how quickly can defense turn into offense?
Thank you to all of our volunteers. Whether it's long production days or late nights, we appreciate everything that you do for us in helping put on our productions. Thank you, and happy National Volunteer Week.
This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back to LDN ONT TV. We've been speaking to Jennifer from Crouch Neighborhood Resource Center, and now we're fortunate to have Gonzalo, who is a Fanshawe student, as well as a volunteer, co-op student, I believe, at the Resource Center. So tell me about yourself.
Well, so basically the story is that when I moved here, I gave up to the idea of continuing my education in my country, because I barely finished high school back then, only to find out that I could finish English grade 12 here and start college. It was as simple as that, but to me, without the information, it meant like a whole, it was a long road to me until I found out about it. And as soon as I started working or studying social service work, I found out that there were a lot of people in the Latino community who didn't know about this opportunity as well, and they were giving up to that idea as well. People who came here with lawyer degrees or nursing degrees that they didn't know they could recognize their credentials here.
Really?
To me, it was inspiring to know about that, to start social service work and help that Latino community to achieve this, at least the information, right, to start on.
So what kind of work are you doing with the Neighborhood Resource Center?
Well, at Crouch, right now I'm doing my placement, right? So pretty much I started from the front desk because I had prior experience at Luso, which is another community center here in London, with the database use and all that stuff. So I had some experience also working with clients, with newcomers and also locals, right, from London. So I started from there, then I started working with other co-workers, with outreach workers, or to learn more about what they do and how can I replicate that action plan, right, to my future clients.
Right, and what do you love about working at the Resource Center?
Well, pretty much the experience that it gave me, the new insight about the city, part of the city that I didn't know at all. I live more in the northeast side of London, and I had no idea there were so many people in need of basic needs, such as food, clothing, or even information, right? As I told you about the continuing education opportunities, right now Crouch has a huge Latino population that access the food bank and all. I believe that's a port of entry for us to give them more information about what they can do, other than just finding better jobs or just giving up to the idea of continuing education, right? So yeah, pretty much that's what I love about this job. That is, we are the port of entry for that information for clients. And
wonderful. And I guess you're going to be at some of these awesome events coming up for the month of December and going forward as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to be in all of them, because it's not only about going there and doing my 24 hours of placement weekly and just disappearing after. Of course, there's a lot of clients who get engaged with us or get familiar to my face, or we getting along and they just want to, they ask me hey, where you been in that other event that you were in, right? So I can tell that they get engage with us in some other ways that are not only like the front desk type of relationship.
Fantastic. So relationships is what it's all about. So viewers, if you're going to be in Hamilton Road area next few weeks coming up and any time of year, maybe you'll run into Gonzalo, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being with us today. Great community to be a part of.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
It was my daughter's birthday. She was blowing out the candles on her cake when we heard coming from the TV. So we stopped and listened, and it helped us get to safety. That's why when I think of my daughter's birthday, because now she gets to keep having them.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Jeff from Chillin' and Grillin' Jeff here. I'm in this industrial yard. It's an interesting location. My guys from Bogline Barbecue said I had to come up, meet them here to see what they're up to. So let's go find them and see what they're up to. By the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Chillin' and Grillin' with Jeff. Hey, here's a couple of Bogline shirts. Hey, bud, how you doing?
Hey, not bad, Jeff. How you doing?
Good.
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 Hey, Jeff.
Hey, nice to meet you.
It's Chad.
Chad.